Hello and welcome to alternative coverage of the Premier League clash between Aston Villa versus Manchester United. I'm Bruno Fernandez sitting in the presenter's seat. Today we've got our commentators standing by ready for the action a little bit later on during the programme. But before we get to the team news and the action at Villa Park, let's take a look at the earlier games and how the results got on in the matches. Starting off in the Premier League. Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0. Burnley v Leicester match postponed due to COVID cases and injuries in the Burnley squad. Newcastle United 1, Watford 1. Norwich City 2, Everton 1. Wolverhampton Wanderers 3, Southampton 1. Aston Villa vs Manchester United is an evening kick-off at 5:30, which we're going to bring you. In the Championship, Cardiff City 0, Blackburn Rovers 1. Luton Town 3, Bournemouth 2. Barnsley vs Blackpool postponed due to COVID cases in the Barnsley camp. Derby County 2, Sheffield United 0. Fulham 6, Bristol City 2. Huddersfield Town 1, Swansea City 1. Middlesbrough 2, Reading 1. Millwall 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Peterborough United 1, Coventry City 4. Preston North End 1, Birmingham City 1. Queen's Park Rangers 1, West Bromwich Albion 0. League 1. Accrington Stanley 1, Sunderland 1. AFC Wimbledon 0, Morecambe 0. Bolton Wanderers 2, Ipswich Town 0. Cheltenham Town 1, Charlton Athletic 1. Crewe Alexandra 0, Shrewsbury Town 0. Doncaster Rovers 1, Wigan Athletic 2. Fleetwood Town 1, Rotherham United 0. Gillingham 1, Burton Albion 3. Lincoln City 0, Cambridge United 1. Portsmouth 1, MK Dons 2. Sheffield Wednesday 4, Plymouth Argyle 2. Wycombe Wanderers 2, Oxford United 0. League 2. Newport County 4, Harrogate Town 0. Bradford City 2, Salford City 1. Bristol Rovers 2, Hartlepool United 0. Carlisle United 1, Crawley Town 1. Colchester United 0, Barrow 2. Exeter City 2, Scunthorpe United 0. Mansfield Town 2, Walsall 0. Northampton Town 1, Forest Green Rovers 1. Oldham v Leyton Orient match postponed due to COVID in the Leyton Orient camp. Port Vale 1, Swindon Town 3. Stevenage 3, Sutton United 3. And Tranmere Rovers 2, Rochdale 0. If you're looking for the National League and other results from earlier today, we'll bring you those at half time. Now time to bring the build up to the evening kickoff, which we're going to bring you from. With our commentary team is standing by, Liam Busby and Paul James is standing by to bring you the commentary team and the commentary for that. But let's go slide first to Liam Busby to find out all the important team news. And there's a question for you, Liam. Is Cristiano Ronaldo in the squad today for Manchester United? And also, what about Philippe Coutinho? Does he make his Aston Villa debut along with, and does Luca D make his Aston Villa debut as well?
Well, good evening, Russ. Good evening, everyone on the commentary hub as well. So, to answer your question, Russ, no, Cristiano Ronaldo does not feature in the squad at all this evening. He has a spinal problem. He was 50-50 going into the game, but unfortunately, it has gone the other way. So, Ronaldo will not feature against Aston Villa this evening. Philippe Coutinho is on the bench tonight. He is taking the number 3 shirt for Aston Villa. So, you never know. He might get his debut in the claret and blue. And Luca Digne as well is in the starting lineup, comes straight in, replacing Matt Targett in the left-back position. 2 changes, though, for Aston Villa in this starting lineup. Of course, Emi Martinez is the starting goalkeeper. Matty Cash, Ezri Konsa, Tyrone Mings, and Luca Digne round off the defence. With John McGinn suspended, Morgan Sanson does come in alongside Douglas Luiz and Jacob Ramsey. Emi Buendia, Ollie Watkins, and Tyrone Mings finish off the front 3. And there's 3 changes now for Manchester United tonight. Anthony Elanga, the Swede, gets his first Premier League start as Marcus Rashford has had a dead leg in training these past few days, so will not feature. Of course, did feature against Aston Villa in the FA Cup just 5 days ago, but will not feature tonight. David De Gea, Diego Dalot in right back, the two centre-backs of Rafael Varane and Victor Lindelof left and right respectively. Alex Telles comes in for Luke Shaw as well as Scott McTominay, both suspended for tonight's fixture. So Nemanja Matic replaces the midfielder. Fred, who did receive a yellow card in the game against Aston Villa in the FA Cup, does keep his place, however. Like we said, Lange, Fernandez in the middle playing that number 10 role, and Mason Greenwood on the right-hand side with Edison Cavani up top. It is a 4-2-3-1, but I wouldn't be surprised if that does move to a 4-2-2 throughout the game here.
Yes, thank you very much, Liam, for the team news there. We're back to Liam at ready for the game in Villa Park in a few moments time. Before we head to see Paul James's reaction ahead of kick-off, let's just go and find out what happened in the game in Molineux, which we have got our very good friend on the line. Kieran Riley joins us now. And Kieran, very warm welcome to you to the commentary of this evening. And you've been to see Wolves against Southampton today. People have just heard that Wolves have won by 3-1. Just tell us all about the game, Kieran. And we were speaking off air before we went live this evening, and you've said to us off air that Southampton's James Ward-Prowse has scored what you call goal of the season contender, and probably one worthy to win that competition. Just talk us all about that goal, Kieran, and how are you feeling after that Wolves win today, since you're a Wolves fan?
Well, so obviously ecstatic that we've won again, which is fantastic. Another 3 points on the board. Bruno's taking us to the Europa League, possibly further. You never know. It was a very, very interesting start to the game. Southampton were all over us from minute one. If we didn't have Jose Sarr in goal today, I think we would have probably conceded 4 or 5 goals this afternoon. But thank God he was there. But that free kick from Scott McTominay is about 35 yards out. Curled it straight. It looked like it was going high, but managed to dip down. It was straight to the top bin. I don't think even the best goalkeepers in the world could have gotten that. Could have saved that free kick. It was absolutely stunning, to the fact that most of us stood up and actually applauded him for it, because it was an absolute screamer. But earlier on in the game, in first half, we had a absolutely massive penalty shout that the ref was adamant that it wasn't. VAR took their time to look at it. The ref even had to go to the screen, and it changed his mind completely. Nice, easy free kick off Ryan Aït-Nouri. If you look at the replays, it does look like he has the ball, but if you watch it carefully, he's not touching it at the time. He's literally wiped out by the Southampton defence. I can't remember which player it was, but penalty coolly taken by Jimenez. Bottom left-hand corner, as slow as you like, because the keeper went the wrong way. Moving on into the second half, another absolutely fantastic goal by our captain nonetheless, Conor Coady. Coady, who has had his England call-up and scored for England as well. He scored once again for the old gold and black, and absolutely, well, it was a bit of a funky one, really. I think we had 3 attempts before he managed to just header it home, and it was absolutely fantastic. Jose Sarr ran from my end of the pitch all the way over to the South Bank just to go and celebrate with Coady, and ended up with a few fans jumping out the stands as well. But coming up to the end of the game, Adama Traore, he is absolutely useless, but when he scores, it's absolutely phenomenal. About 5 minutes before the end, he has the chance of the game. I think he should have squared it to Podence, in my opinion, but he put his foot through it, sent it all the way into Rose Ed. But 5 minutes later, has his redemption, a fantastic little run forwards, and knocks it straight into the bottom corner to make it 3-1. It was to be honest, after all the abuse was hurled at him, Molineux went into absolute pandemonium when he scored that goal for us. It's been a long time coming since he last scored. He needs it, but it's still not going to prove his point of him staying with us. I think he could be going at the end of this transfer window, but we'll have to see. But it was another fantastic win for us today. 3-1, and we keep marching on.
Yes, thank you very much, Q. We'll be happy to see you back on the commentary very, very shortly. But thanks for your contribution today, mate. We'll let you get off on your way back from Molineux. Kieran Riley on the way back from Molineux, giving us his thoughts on Wolves against Southampton this evening. Thank you very much there to Kieran. Now let's get back to the match in hand between Aston Villa and Manchester United. Obviously, Manchester United taking up against Aston Villa as the teams are about to emerge from the tunnel any minute now. So we'll get back to Liam in a second. But just a quick one then, Paul, ahead of kick-off today. I see this game going. Obviously, we've seen that there's no Cristiano Ronaldo, Coutinho on the bench for Aston Villa today. With the sides that both managers Steven Gerrard and Ralph Rangnick has put out, what is your final score prediction at the end of the game there tonight, Liam? Not Liam, I mean Paul, should I say, sorry.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Commentary Hub and welcome to listening to this great game that's coming up today. I honestly think Aston Villa is seeking redemption from the FA Cup. They were very, very unlucky in that game and perhaps deserved the win. My prediction is that they can get at Manchester United. Manchester United's defence has issues, especially if they slip into that 4-2-2-2 system. Aston Villa can take advantage of that by using the space that system provides. I actually think I predicted Villa to win in the cup game, and I was wrong, but I'm gonna stick with them, and I think they're gonna win 1-0 today.
Yes, so there's the thoughts of Paul James ahead of kick-off. He reckons a 1-0 win for Aston Villa. So with the players on the way out of the tunnel now at Villa Park, and we're all standing by now. Nice warm studios off tube this evening. Let's go live back to match commentary team. First of all, Paul James, but alongside him, first of all, the first person you'll hear is Liam Busby. Liam.
Of course, thanks very much, Russ. Yes, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the alternative match commentary of Aston Villa versus Manchester United. On the commentary hub, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Commentary Live 1. This should be an absolute cracker tonight. We've got a couple of debuts in the Aston Villa side, potentially a couple of debuts as well. The likes of Luca Digne starting tonight. Philip Coutinho as well is on the bench. Is he going to make an appearance tonight, do you reckon, Paul?
Yes, I actually think he will. I think at some point they will play him today, even if they're winning and they maybe just give him 15, 20 minutes. I do see him making an appearance today.
So just going through the team now, we will remind you a couple of changes from Aston Villa's manager, Steven Gerrard. Morgan Sanson comes in for the suspended John McGinn in midfield, and also Luca Digne making that debut after moving for £27 million from Everton to Aston Villa. I'm very excited to see how he does in the Claret and Blue. He's been a fantastic player for Everton. Didn't really gel that well with Rafa Benitez, and now he has managed to get that move. Of course, 3 changes for Manchester United as well. Anthony Lange, the big one there, 19 years old, Swedish young player, is making his first Premier League start. He has already played a few games in the Premier League before, but it was just substitute appearances. Did manage to get a goal. I believe it was later on in the 2020-21 season, but is now making his first start officially at 19 years old. It'll be interesting to see how he does as well. Scott McTominay and Luke Shaw both suspended for this game. So Alex Telles and the Nemanja Matic replaced them respectfully. Edison Cavani up front on his own once again. Like we mentioned, it's a 4-2-3-1 for Manchester United, but with Ralph Rangnick's tactics, you wouldn't be surprised if that moved to a 4-2-2-2. Paul, you did your score prediction before. Luca Digne, of course, he's making his debut. How do you think he'll fare for Aston Villa today?
Well, Everton, that's a big loss for Everton. He is such an effective left back. He's going to be very, very difficult to. He's not just an excellent defender, but he creates opportunities as well, and he's very good on the ball. I think he's an excellent addition to Aston Villa's squad, and I think he's going to perform admirably today.
Shots of Philip Coutinho on the bench. I wonder what is going through his head at the moment. You know, you look 4 years ago, you wouldn't have even joked about Philip Coutinho going to Aston Villa. You know, they were in the Championship then. The player's taken the knee now, just ready for kickoff, and it'll be Bruno Fernandez from Manchester United who does get us away. That pitch looks absolutely lovely this evening. I love a fantastic game under the lights, and we are underway now. Bruno Fernandez moves it over to Alex Telles, just getting the touches in now. Here's Varane over to Lindelof on the right-hand side. Just holds the ball for a little bit before he takes it over to Dalot. Dalot, who did get a yellow card and runs the ball off the pitch just 14 seconds into the game. Clearly didn't do his stretches early on here, Paul.
No, that was interesting. Another interesting fact about today's game, Liam: if Manchester United win today, they will be the first Premier League team to reach 300 away wins in the Premier League.
300 away wins. I think you've got to thank Sir Alex Ferguson for that one, really. But yeah, they've been okay, I guess, without Fergie. It's been a long time now. Just looking at the table as well, Manchester United 7th on 31 points, Aston Villa 14th on 22 points. A win, though, could take Villa all the way up to 11th. Dependent on goal difference, they could go up to 10th as well, with Leicester currently on 25 points. Here's Telles now, moves the ball up to Lange. This will be his first touches, but Konsa does well just to take the ball out, and it will be a corner to Manchester United. Just a minute gone. This is the commentary hub. You're listening to Aston Villa versus Manchester United here. Buendia just moving forward a little bit. It'll be interesting to see who takes the corner here. Luca Digne there marking Edison Cavani. Jacob Ramsey as well are the other young players in the lineup for Aston Villa. He's become a bit more of a regular player, and it is Bruno Fernandez on the corner for Manchester United here. Ball gets whipped in and cleared straight away by, that was Luca Digne. So his first touches for Aston Villa, it's clearing the ball out. It's just a nice, safe, sound defensive move there, Paul.
Yeah, he's very steady. He's going to be a great addition to that Villa squad. Everton have lost out on him, in my opinion.
Yeah, of course. Just, he fell out with Rafa Benitez. You see the stat there, 100 corners taken from Manchester United this season. This is the 101st. No goals whatsoever, and once again cleared away by the Aston Villa defence. It was Matty Cash this time. Changed his nationality from English to Polish last year, so he could get some more international games. It's Telles on the ball now, throws it over to Matic. Matic, who hasn't been a regular starter in this lineup this season. You just look, and McTominay and Fred they've been quite a frequent pairing in the midfield. You saw Solskjaer would play with 5 at the back and then 2 defensive midfielders. Now with Rangnick playing a 4-2-2, at times it's maybe favoured them a little bit more, Paul.
Yeah, I don't have too much issues with the 4-2-2 in the sense that it can be an effective system. I just think it leaves a lot of space, and that space can be exploited very easily.
Of course, and the way that Man United play as well, they like to be on the front foot. They like to put a lot of pressure on the opposition players, but that opens a lot of space, like you said, for counter-attacks. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a fair few counter-attacks in this game. They've struggled at times. They lost against Wolves. More recently, it was that 1-0 defeat. Games against Newcastle United as well, where they were really exposed. They were down for about 70 minutes in that game as well. As we just see Varane just making sure they are comfortable on the ball here. Here's Telles again. Just tries to whip the ball through to Bruno Fernandez, but it's cleared away once again by Aston Villa. Only as far as Lindelof on the halfway line, and it goes over to Dalot now on the right-hand side. Let's see if we can do a little bit better than last time. Over to Fred, into the path of Lindelof. And they are just getting the touches in here, Paul. Just 4 minutes into the game, they just want to make sure that, that they're comfortable on the ball.
Yeah, Manchester United particularly started very steady. They're playing very, very well. They're controlling the early parts of this game with the possession. Free kick coming up now. This is a good start by Manchester United. Villa at the moment, I think, just need to settle into the game a little bit.
Yeah, so Villa probably had less touches than you can count fingers on your hands, really. Another free kick now for Man United. This is, I think, the second free kick of this first half, and only 4.5 minutes in here. The referee just giving Danny Ings a talking to there. It'll be interesting to see who was on this free kick. Bruno Fernandez and Alex Telles are both lined up. It's either a right footer or a left footer here. In-swinger or out-swinger, but there's more delays. There's some kerfuffle in the penalty area. And once again, the referee just going over to have a chat to both teams here. Looks like Tyrone Mings might have been involved in that. The Man United as well, doing a little signal towards his neck. Maybe someone's grabbing his neck there. And they're still going at it. You see pushes from Tyrone Mings. And the free kick will come in here. And it's Bruno Fernandez who can have a go. And he does. Oh, and it's been spilt by Emi Martinez. And it's gone in. And that is 1-0 to Manchester United. And that is an awful, atrocious goalkeeping error from Emiliano Martinez. and it is 1-0 to Manchester United. Bruno Fernandez, maybe not the best goal that he'll score, but it's still a goal. Martinez clearly not happy with something, maybe a bit of obstruction going on there. It was a pretty well-worked free kick as well. Telles just laying it off to him, so he could have a goal. We'll see the replay here. Just not enough pressure on him straight away, and it's just bad goalkeeping, Paul.
Oh, it is very bad goalkeeping. I think the Villa defence was a little slow to react as well, but this is really bad. He just doesn't get his body fully behind this. And the shot itself didn't really have any significant power. Yes, it bounced up in front of him, but that is a save that any goalkeeper should make. That is a very, very sloppy error and not something that Villa needed at this time. There goes my prediction, but that is a very, very sloppy goal to concede. Early on, when you're the home team, this is not what you want.
Just like the FA Cup game as well, it's an early goal that Aston Villa have conceded. I didn't personally see the Aston Villa against Man United game in the FA Cup just a few days ago, but surely they weren't playing as bad as this in the opening minutes. Once again, first, 5-10 minutes, and a goal has been conceded by Villa here. Only one win in the past 5 games in all competitions for Villa as well. And as it stands, it's looking like it might go against them once again. Just looking at the replay as well, Cavani did stick a leg out, but there was no contact whatsoever. Even a minuscule bit of contact wouldn't have obstructed Emi Martinez's view. It is genuinely just a bad goalkeeping error there, Paul.
Yeah, it is. He's going to want that back. That is a very, very bad goalkeeping error. There's no excuse. I used to be a goalkeeper when I was younger, and if I conceded a goal like that, and I did on more than one occasion, but I would always feel like I just want the ground to open up and swallow me up, you know.
Just looking now, Villa trying to get the ball just into that final third. Buendia just a little bit too much on the pass there. Camera cuts over to Martinez again, who he does look fuming. We'll have a look at the replay once again. It's about 25 yards out there for Bruno Fernandez, and no appeals for offside, anything like that. The ball has literally just slipped through his fingers, and it's gone in. It's not the way that Aston Villa would have wanted to start this game. They've been on the back foot literally the whole game here, and they've paid the price for it, unfortunately. Too relaxed, I think, is the problem. Man United back with the ball, though. Here is Dalot, who looks maybe to send the ball forward. Just takes it back to Lindelof, though, who has a bit of a heavy touch. Recovers well, though. Over to Telles, who just knocks it over to Bruno Fernandez. Playing a little bit deeper now is Bruno. Over to Matic. Back to Telles. Lange now playing a nice 1-2 with Telles. Back to Lange again. And it's well dispossessed by Matty Cash. And Cash will knock it up the field now. And cleared away by Varane. Nice and careful there, Paul.
Yeah, I think what's important for Villa now is that they have to settle into this game. They cannot afford to concede again. They now just have to settle into this game. There's going to be a storm now, I think, by Manchester United. So they have to weather that storm, get settled into the game and create some chances themselves.
So if you are just joining us, it is 1-0 to Manchester United. A fortunate goal for Bruno Fernandez from about 25 yards out. Just slipped through the fingers of Emi Martinez. You can see Ralph Rangnick on the bench there. Doesn't look too pleased, but I'm sure inside he will be happy that he is winning. A team that hasn't scored many goals under his ruling. Of course, they did have that 3-1 win against Burnley, but apart from that, only 1 goal wins at the moment. So I think they will be looking maybe just to score a few more goals in these next fixtures coming up, as Sanson looking for a foul there, and it was a bit more of a body check on himself, really. As Lange gets the ball now, a little bit of pressure from Sanson, but well cleared away. Over to Cavani, who is playing very deep now. Fred loses the ball here, and it's a big chance for Aston Villa. Here's Buendia, dispossessed, though. He tried to make the pass over to Danny Ings, but there was too many Man United defenders there. Back over to, well, no one there from, I believe that was Douglas Luiz there. Yeah, Douglas Luiz tried to play a forward ball, but just no one was there. Who's that on the floor there? Telles, Paul, opening 10 minutes. Of course, we have had that goal. Villa maybe just trying to get back into it a little bit.
Yeah, they're going to be wanting to do that, but I think for Villa as well, it's very important now that they switch on. They have to switch on. They can't afford to concede again. I think for Ralph Rangnick, his biggest concern, at least what I've been hearing in the interviews, is that his team have struggled physically against other teams. And I agree with him on that. I think they have struggled physically against other teams, and the Premier League is different than the Bundesliga. It is a far more physical league, and it's played at a faster pace.
It is, and I think there are some comparisons between the Bundesliga and the Premier League, but like we have said many times before, the Premier League is the best league in the world, and there's nothing really like it. You see a lot of players, I think, when they come from different leagues internationally, they do struggle to hit the ground running, and it does affect managers as well. As you can see, Ralph Rangnick, like you said, there's a physical disparity there. I think with some players as well, there's been a little bit of unrest in the dressing room. Just have a quick look though as Telles sets a nice ball in, and it goes actually to the other winger there. This is Greenwood now, who gets it over to Fred. He's got some space to shoot, whips the ball in over to Lange, and just wide there. It was a good chance though for Lange. Great ball in from Fred as well. Score remains 1-0.
Yeah, he just got above the defender here, and wasn't able to direct it on target, unfortunately for him.
No, Matty Cash, I don't think he really expected Lange to rise up like he did there. I don't even think he knew that he was there at all there.
Yeah, that's right. And the possession is currently heavily in favour of Manchester United as well.
Yeah, and I think the goal shows that as well. The opportunities have been few and far between here between both teams. Here's Consa now, who is just taking a little bit of time on the ball before he gets it to Mings. Digne was making a forward run there, but not even a chance for him to get the ball. As the ball's cleared away now from Telles in the final third of Man United's box. Bruno Fernandez over to Matic. Playing the ball quite well, actually, are Man United. Moving the ball quite quickly. Lots of forward runs being made. But then you just need that little bit of safety there. Ball goes back to De Gea. Into Fred, who drops deep once again. With this formation, I think with the players that you've got right now, they will be more like holding midfielders rather than players who will play box-to-box, especially the likes of the Nemanja Matic, who is probably going to just stay back. Fred might be able to play a bit more of a box-to-box role, but Matic will just stay back. He's got that defensive cover. Might even to turn into five at the back at one point.
It may well do that. At the moment, it looks like they're still on that 4-2-3-1 system, and it seems to be working quite well for them, I'll be honest. They certainly look a lot more comfortable in possession. There's less mistakes being made than what they were making in the cup game. They definitely look a lot more comfortable in this system, but we'll see how it goes as the game goes on.
Of course, Man United did play with the 4-2-3-1 in the FA Cup fixture. Still won that one, winning this one at the moment. Just 13 minutes gone here on the commentary hub. It is Man United 1, Aston Villa 0. As Matic just has the ball. He's got time once again before he gives it off to Lindelof. Dalot on the right-hand side. Nice short pass over to Greenwood, who knocks it back to Lindelof. They're 1-0 up here. They are just taking their time on the ball. Greenwood playing in that right-back position. Just momentarily, that is. He is playing as a right winger this game. Drops deep over to Telles, now to Bruno Fernandez, who plays a long ball forward, hoping to find Greenwood. Dalot that was. But no joy. It'll be a goal kick to Aston Villa. Emi Martinez, who will want to just make sure that he can recompose himself after that mistake that did lead to the Man United goal. Just wants to get a good kick out here.
Yeah, he has to put that at the back of his mind now. He can't let that play on his mind. He has to just put it to the back of his mind now. It's happened. It's done. He wants to now just see if he can redeem that error and play a solid game from here to the end.
Of course, it's going to be a throw into Aston Villa now. Luca Digne just moving a little bit further up the pitch. He is considered more like a left wing back rather than a full back. He prefers making them forward runs. He's got a good left foot on him. Great at set pieces as well. Just knocks the ball back to Tyrone Mings, that is, who has been featured quite heavily in the past couple of seasons since he did originally move on loan from Bournemouth. Whilst Aston Villa were in the Championship, helped them go up via the playoffs that season. He's been there ever since, but misplaces that pass, and that's going to be a throw-in to Manchester United. Once again, a little bit wasteful in possession here, Paul.
Yeah, they don't look very well settled at all. Manchester United are well in control of this game right now, and Steven Gerrard just flashed up there. He's got a very concerned look on his face right now. I wonder whether we may see some changes as the first half rolls on.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Surely at halftime, you've got to be looking at your bench. They have got a few options on there, of course. Philip Coutinho, I think that's the big one there. Like you said earlier, no matter what the scoreline is, he has got to feature this game. He's a bright little spark who has joined. I had a little bit of an argument with my mate about this. I didn't really think that you would join just because of Steven Gerrard's pulling power, but he has been quite open in saying that Steven Gerrard was the player who, or the man who really got him to move to this club. It is just a loan move. They're paying a pretty hefty wage for him. I believe it's 65% of what Barcelona were paying him, so it equates to about 270 grand each week, which is a lot of money for a loanee, but you never know, he might hit the ground running here. Here is Lindelof.
I think just going back on his salary there, Liam, Barcelona pay the highest salary in Europe by quite far, and it's landed them in some financial difficulty. But Coutinho is very much capable of changing a game.
Without a doubt, he likes the game to come to him, and he'll play with the ball at his feet. Some of the goals that he scored, really good, long-range goals. Here's Mings now. Once again, just on that left-hand side, he did actually play as a left-back earlier on in his career. Has moulded more into a centre-back now, thanks to the likes of Eddie Howe and his time at Aston Villa. Here he is again, Mings. Over to Ramsey, getting his first touches in the game, it seems. Over to Digne. He can run with the ball a little bit. Moves it on to Buendia, but loses the ball, does Buendia. And then Watkins just pressurising De Gea a little bit. Forward. Kick, Conte gets it away. Once again, Buendia, a little bit of a challenge there from Matic, and I think Matic has actually come out second best there. More pressure from Aston Villa, however. They want to make sure that they can get an equaliser, maybe before half-time, even earlier than that, would be better for them. Man United just moving the ball around really well, though. Here's Telles over to Bruno Fernandez, who's playing more like a centre midfielder this time, just while Fred drops back a little bit. Telles, again, getting the most touches, it seems, out of any player. Over to Lange. Now Fred back to Telles. Ball whipped in by Telles. And Greenwood's got a chance as well. It's a great save by Martinez, and that's what he needs to build his confidence back up. It is going to be a corner to Manchester United, but definitely save what would have been a second Manchester United goal there, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. What a super save. He gets himself down right in front of Greenwood there and forces him to strike there, giving little time, and makes an excellent block.
Yeah, great block there by Martinez. It is going to be another Manchester United corner. But Cavani is actually still down here. I didn't know if they were actually going to get ready to take the corner there, but he's holding, looks like just the ankle there. He's clearly in some discomfort. He is getting some treatment now. If you are just joining in, it is Aston Villa 0, Manchester United 1. We are 18 minutes and 45 seconds into the first half. On the commentary up here, the home of alternative commentary, Martinez, of course, making that big blunder for Bruno Fernandez's first goal. It was a shot that didn't have a lot of power on it, but it just managed to creep in. Complaints of obstruction by the Argentine goalkeeper, but nothing comes from it, and it is still 1-0 to Manchester United. 19 minutes gone now. Cavani is going to have to go off the pitch here once he gets back up, just because he has received a little bit of treatment. So might be a little bit of a problem now whilst this corner comes in. We'll just see the replay of what happened. Oh, and I'll tell you what, Digne has rolled over his ankle there. He's definitely had his studs up.
Yeah.
And luckily, I don't think VAR's had a look at it, Paul.
No, I'm not entirely sure whether it was intentional, but these days it doesn't have to be. But it did look pretty unpleasant, and he's struggling right now.
He is, yeah. He'll come back on the pitch after this corner gets taken. Bruno Fernandez once again, or it'll be Telles this time, that'll whip the ball in. Ball gets whipped in now, Telles, and easily held by Emi Martinez. And now Aston Villa can counter here, but Fred wants to make sure that they can be as slow as possible with that. Here's Matty Cash on the right-hand side. He's got space. He's got time to move the ball forward as well. Cavani back on the pitch now. Here's Sanson, who does run with the ball. Over to Ramsey. And now over to Digne, who's playing just on that left-hand side, really deep now to Danny Ings. Over to Digne again. Dispossessed Digne. And now Man United can counter-attack. This is Mason Greenwood. Fancy footwork from the young Englishman. And the ball just going down the middle now. Here's Bruno Fernandez. Can get it over to Lange, which he does on the left-hand side. Here's Lange now. Just slows the play down a little bit. Back to Bruno Fernandez, who has space. Opts not to shoot. Over to Matic, though. Dispossessed by Aston Villa. Good defence by Aston Villa here. Game seems like it's just picking up a little bit now. Telesh. Back over to Varane. Over to Lindelof now. Dallo on the right-hand side. Back in Manchester United's half now. Over to Fred, that is. Bruno Fernandez. It's a 50-50 challenge there between Fernandez and Danny Ings. As Tyrone Mings gets the ball forward. That's nice and easy for Lindelof, but only as far as Luca Digne now, I believe. And now, oh, sorry, it's Buendia, and Buendia can move the ball forward. Over to Ings now on the left-hand side. Just slowing the play down a little bit, but it seems like there's a bit more tempo between both sides. Sanson on the left-hand side. Over to Matty Cash. He's got space to run. Is he going to be able to whip across in? Cuts back inside and absolutely sends a Lange there. Over to Sanson, who does whip the ball in, but it's not very good. And then Varane can clear the ball away, Paul.
Yeah, Villa are just trying to get themselves back into the game right now. They've picked up possession. The final ball isn't quite there for them yet. But I can sort of sense that they're trying to get themselves back into the game now, that they're trying to attack Manchester United.
Here's Digne now. It's been, I think, I wouldn't say lackluster for his first 22 minutes as a Villa player, but he's not lit the world on fire. Here we go now. This is another chance to counter-attack for Manchester United. Here, Lange on the left-hand side, that favoured left-hand side that he's played on. And now it's really good movement from Lange, and he goes down in the box, calls for a penalty. Referee says no. Ball gets whipped in, and Digne is going to clear that out. No, he'll actually come back and pass it over to Tyrone Mings, over to Douglas Luiz, and the ball still hasn't been cleared out here from Villa. And Martinez finally does. Risky movement, though, from the Villa defence. And now Matic playing in that central midfield role. Over to Greenwood. Fred is in front of him if he wants, but switches it over to Lange. Here's Telesh now. Loses the ball. And here's Buendia, who cuts back, gets past Bruno Fernandez really well. And now Aston Villa are on the counter-attack. Here's Sanson on the right-hand side. 3 players aside of him. Gets it back to Matty Cash. Just wants to slow the play down once again. Here is Buendia. Now, who's he going to give this to? It's over to Tyrone Mings. Mings, then to... this is Ramsey now. Over to Watkins. Watkins, who's been quite quiet in this game as well. Over to Matty Cash. Matty Cash just holding the ball now. To Konsa. Not a lot of options on for Konsa here. The defence seemingly not being able to get the ball out of their half now. Here's Luiz, who's dropped back a little bit. Can run with the ball forward now. He wants to make a forward run. Over to Ramsey once again, who loses the ball on his feet a little bit. And there's pressure from Fred. Once again, back to Konsa. Complaints from the Villa defence. You can see that they want to get the ball moving, but they can't get out of their half at the moment. It's really good pressure here from Man United, and this is classic Rangnick. Yes. Over to Cash now. Sanson, once again, there's just nothing on at the moment. They haven't really moved the ball around quite quickly because there's a lot of pressure here from Man United.
They're being shut down very easily here, Liam.
They are, yeah. Looking at Konsa now, still in their own half now, Aston Villa. They'll put the possession stats up a little bit in their passing stats. And now they're going to try a forward run. Here's Cash just on the right-hand side. But once again, nothing on for Cash or any of the Aston Villa players. They're having to just keep the ball. At least they can find their footing now. But a really good ball forward from Mings. Over to Watkins, into Digne. And dispossessed. And here we go now. It's a free kick to Manchester United. And I think Villa might have actually needed that just so they could have stopped the game and took some momentum out for Man United. Paul, it was an interesting minute and a half there where Villa just couldn't get through at all.
No, it's absolutely. I would call this excellent defensive play. My opinion of defensive play is anytime you don't have possession of the ball, you're defending. You are trying to shut down the plan of attack from the opposing team, and that's what Manchester United did so well there. There was no way through for Villa there.
Not a chance Villa were going to get through there. Here's Telles on the left-hand side. Lange moving into the striker's role just while Bruno's on the left. Back to Varane. Varane over to Lindelof. And Dalot moving the ball really well here at Man United. Once again, you see Buendia dispossessed. They are trying Villa, but nothing's really coming off for them. Greenwood switches the ball to Telles. And now he can drive forward with the ball just like he has been doing most of this first half now. 26 minutes gone. It's a brilliant ball from Bruno Fernandez, but dispossessed by Tyrone Mings before the ball can go to Lange. Once again, back to Varane. And it's a battle between, I believe it was Sanson and Bruno Fernandez. But Man United have come off better there. Here's Greenwood over to Dalot. Can he get the ball in? Oh, and it's a lunge by Luca Digne. And it is going to be the first yellow card of the game here. It's Luca Digne on his debut. That was silly, Paul.
Yeah, that was reckless and late. That's more like a forwards tackle than anything else. That was very, very late and sloppy, and that he deserved the booking there.
He's not actually gone in with his feet there. He's actually gone in with his knees. And because of that, I believe he's picked up a suspension there as well. So he'll miss the next game. That is the fifth yellow card of the season for him.
Yeah, that's not good news for Villa.
No, not at all. They have got Matt Targett, who is on the bench tonight. So they have still got that cover. But a player who has just signed for such a substantial fee, you'd want us to be playing week in, week out, suspension or not. Here is another free kick now for Manchester United. I believe this is free kick number 4 for the Red Devils. Playing in that lovely blue kit now. Is it going to be Telles or Bruno Fernandez on the free kick here? It is Telles who has a go and saved, stinging the gloves of Martinez. It's only gone to Greenwood on the edge of the box, who shoots wide. It was a good effort from Greenwood, the young lad, but just too far wide. And a goal kick taken straight away there by Martinez. It was an interesting chance there from Telles. He went for it, surely, Paul.
Yeah, he did. And those aren't always easy to save for a goalkeeper. So I think Martinez just made what looks like a comfortable save. Sometimes when they're whipped in like that, are not quite so easy to save. So I think give Martinez a little bit of credit there. It was a smart save.
Yes, fair play to him. He made a couple of decent saves in Aston Villa's game against Manchester United in the FA Cup, and now he's made a couple of decent saves in this game. But unfortunately, it was just a big error that has led to the goal. If not, then surely it's going to be 0-0 with the way that he's playing.
The error was poor. It was definitely something he should have saved. Yeah,
I think it's definitely going to be the point of discussion at half time here with Russ and Kieran. Ralph Rangnick on the bench here. You look at the match stats. Villa, not a single shot on goal here. They've got to really do something in the second half or even before the end of the first half, just so they can at least register that first shot on goal, Paul.
Yeah, they've just been shut down so well by Manchester United. I mean, as you say, Villa, they are trying, they just can't find a way through. Manchester United just look so good transitioning from defence into attack, pressing in attack, creating chances. Lange has been very impressive in this first half as well down that left-hand side.
He is, yeah. It's his first Premier League start. Like we mentioned before, he has played a few games, but only as a substitute. Just that one goal, but will he add to that tally before the end of today's game? Of course, he is replacing Rashford, who suffered a dead leg in training and couldn't play. And it's another sliding effort there from Sanson, where I think that is going to be, yes, it is a Manchester United throw. Just went off Sanson before the ball went out. Throw over to Varane now, to Lindelof. These two getting their passes in quite a lot in this first half. They've had, I think, maybe a little bit more of the ball than they would have liked. I think, you know, the way that Man United are playing, I'm surprised that they are passing it around the back so much.
Yeah, they're building up from the back, Liam. They're building up from the back. They're passing the ball excellently. They're creating chances. Manchester United, this is the best I've seen Manchester United play for quite some time, actually, so far.
Yeah, fair play to them. Free kick now, though, for Aston Villa. And that is going to be the second yellow card of the game. So that goes to the Nemanja Matic. So it was Fred in the last game in the midfield who got a yellow card against Villa. It's now Matic on the other side of the midfield who's going to get the yellow card. And looking, it is just a bit of a silly challenge, of course. Tactical, but not really what you want when there's still 60 minutes left in this game. Got to maybe think later towards the end of the game, he's going to get subbed off because it's probably only going to get worse for Matic from here.
Yeah, a bit clumsy that really, isn't it?
It is, and it's going to be Luiz on the free kick here. He is going to try and whip this in, I believe. It's quite far out. It is more towards the halfway line, so you better have a good right peg on him, which he does, and it is. Oh, it's an interesting ball there, but Fred dispossesses it. Greenwood now gets the ball away well. Over to Fred, who gets it to Bruno Fernandez, and this is a counter-attack from Manchester United here, but well dispossessed. That was Sanson that did that. A really good sliding challenge from him. Back to Mings, who will just look towards Emi Martinez. He does. Over to Digne now. Just 30 minutes gone in this game. It is still Aston Villa 0, Manchester United 1. You're listening to the commentary of Liam Brusby and Paul James providing your commentary this evening. Good evening if you are listening.
Yeah, just what I'm noticing as well is Bruno Fernandez in the midfield is just kind of controlling things there, dominating that midfield.
Yeah, and now a counter-attack once again. Here's Buendia on the edge of the box. Watkins, who does have a chance, and it is saved quite comfortably for David De Gea. But that's the first shot on goal. It's on target, and it opens their tally. And it might not have been the best shot, but surely a bit more confidence for Aston Villa. They have managed to break down the defence just slightly. But of course, De Gea, the wall, is still in net, and they're not going to get beaten that easily.
No, that was an opportunity at least. That's the first time they've really got sort of inside that Manchester United defence. It's an opportunity for them. He should have done better in my opinion, but this will give Villa confidence, I think.
Of course, and Villa, I was going to say they were moving the ball quite nicely, but it's a counter-attack from Manchester United this time. Greenwood on the left-hand side has space to shoot, and it is a great save again by Martinez. Lange got the top of his head on it, but I think it moved it backwards rather than towards the goal. Here we go now. Here's Dalot. Over to Telles again, who's had a lot of touches on the ball in this first half. Greenwood, him and Lange have swapped wings now. Over to Fred. Here's Telles, who's got space and will whip the ball in. Cleared away by Aston Villa. And now is it going to be a Villa counter-attack now? Watkins on the ball. Great block, though, by Matic. And that just brings the possession back to Manchester United. Some pressure on Matic, though. Comfortable.
Another super save by Martinez. He's certainly redeemed himself for that error. I mean, okay, it would be 0-0 if it wasn't for Martinez, but it also could be 3-0 if it wasn't for Martinez.
Very true. It was a great chance, though, for Greenwood, who he does like scoring a goal from them sort of ranges. He likes getting the ball in the box and having a go. He's got a nice little foot on him, either left or right. I remember in his breakout season, whilst we were in lockdown, he scored, I believe it was 10 goals in his first season for Manchester United. And they were really good goals as well. He did actually get a goal against Aston Villa, if I remember correctly, in that season. He'd love another one tonight. Ralph Rangnick. Once again, he doesn't look incredibly pleased, but he should surely be happy that they have taken the 1-0 lead before they have gone into half-time. Still about 12 minutes left, plus stoppage time. Should only be about a minute or so stoppage time. Another chance for Aston Villa, though, into the final third. Here's Digne, who is on the yellow card now. He's got to be careful when he's in defence, but this is a corner for Aston Villa now. I believe the first corner of the evening for Aston Villa.
Yeah. They're starting to create some chances now at Aston Villa. I believe in my opinion, if the score remains the same at half-time, I think we may see Philippe Coutinho at the beginning of the second half, or at least by the 60th minute.
And you think he changed the game just before we see the corner come in? Sorry. It's whipped in by Douglas Luiz. And Watkins did get up. Once again, we see that's another corner, is it? No, it is a goal kick. I'm not entirely sure what decision's been given here. No, it is still a corner, sorry. So Coutinho, do you think he could be a game changer?
Absolutely. I think he's gonna want to prove a point, and I think he's well capable of changing this game. So I think we could see him early in the second half if things remain the same.
Of course, Coutinho has made that loan switch from Barcelona, one of 2 signings this week for Aston Villa. No transfers in yet for Manchester United as the ball gets whipped in again, and it's a great save from David De Gea. Really just palmed it away. I believe it was Buendia, of all people, who had a chance, and it's going to be another free kick to Aston Villa now. Great reactions, though.
What a save from the great
Let's have a
wall
look.
of De Gea. That was an excellent reflex save.
That was brilliant from David De Gea. So that is another shot on target now as well for Aston Villa. More confidence being built towards the end of this first half. Let's see what happens with this free kick, though. It's going to be Digne. It's going to be an in-swinger for this one. You saw Douglas Luiz with the right foot try to swing it in and do something. Sorry, it's going to be an outswinger here from Luca Digne, and it's a nice ball in, cleared away by Lindelof, however. Only as far as Ramsey. Ball brought back in. Mings does just get a head on it. I think Telles had a touch as well. Here's Buendia now, just on the edge of the box on the right-hand side. He's got Bruno Fernandez for pressure, but it's a great ball in, and this is Matty Cash on the right-hand side. Ball is whipped in. Only as far as Fred, who gets the ball away. Over to Digne again. Now to Buendia. It's a big few minutes here for Aston Villa, really shifting the momentum. Now, Ramsey. Pressure from Cavani, but cleared away by Lange. Only as far as Mings, though, on the halfway line, to another chance to just break down Manchester United's defence. Here's Matty Cash on the right-hand side. Over to Konsa. Konsa to Luiz. Luiz now gets the ball. Really, no. Once again, it's great defensive play, like you said before, Paul, by Manchester United, having to switch the play up and go back to Emi Martinez or Aston Villa.
This is true, but I will say this for Aston Villa: they're getting a lot of possession right now. This is going to build confidence for them. But this the setup that Manchester United have here, it is very difficult for Villa to break through.
It is, and a foul by Fred, taken quickly by Buendia now, and this is Sanson on the left-hand side. Ball, is it going to get whipped in by Digne? Yes, it is. Oh, a bit too high for Danny Ings, but it's another chance now, still in the final third. And here's Matty Cash, free, and it's just too much for him. He slides off the pitch, and the ball unfortunately bounces out, and it is going to be a goal kick to Manchester United. They want to get their heads back now.
This was a good try. This was an interesting idea by Villa. Cash is going in now on the far side. He's just not able to make it, but it's a nice try. And again, a look at that absolutely sensational save by De Gea.
It is great reflexes, like you said. Really had to sort of lift his hands up in a nice little sort of protection motion. Gets the ball away and then nicely cleared as quick as you could by Manchester United. But once again, Sanson, Aston Villa have lost the ball. Manchester United have lost the ball. 38 minutes gone. Pressure from Aston Villa for Man United. The score is still Aston Villa 0, Manchester United 1. But could it be 1-1 before the end of the first half? Here's Buendia now. Over to Danny Ings. Douglas Luiz, I don't think, was expecting it, and it's going to be a free kick to Man United. And is this going to be another card? It was a bit silly from Douglas Luiz. No card, though. Bruno Fernandez goes down. It was late.
I think it's a good idea sometimes that the referee does keep the cards in the pocket, because I think they do come out altogether too many times now. Look, I'll have another look at this because it was late. Actually, I don't know how much contact he makes with him there.
I think it's just with the top of his leg. A player like Bruno Fernandez, when he feels contact, he is going to go down, no matter where you are on the pitch. Edge of the box, same old story. It's another throw-in, though, to Aston Villa. It's going to be taken by Digne this time. I think Digne is going to turn into that set-piece taker for Aston Villa now. You know, he has free kick goals to his name at Everton. I think he actually scored a free kick against Aston Villa when he played against them just a couple of seasons ago. Here's Sanson over to Douglas Luiz. Digne. Ramsey loses the ball now. And once again, Man United can counter-attack. Here's Greenwood over to Cavani. Back to Greenwood. Over to Lange now, who hasn't seen the ball for a few minutes, but gets it back there. Telles And just before it goes to Tellis, there is a foul by Matty Cash on Anthony Lange. He's been a presence, hasn't he, Lange, in this first half? He's been dangerous.
It's been very impressive. Down that left-hand side, he's caused Villa some aggravation. That went right through the back of him. That, in my opinion, would be worthy of a yellow card.
I think, like you said, the referee maybe just trying to keep his cards in his pocket after giving a couple out in quick succession earlier in the first half. 40 minutes gone now. Still Aston Villa 0, Manchester United 1. It's been an interesting game here. Real end-to-end stuff at times. You are listening to the commentary hub. Once again, good evening. Liam Brusby and Paul James providing commentary for Aston Villa against Manchester United this evening. Here's Dalot over to Greenwood. Over to De Gea now. Just once again getting a bit more comfortable with the game. Varane on the left-hand side. Plays it forwards. And is Taylor's going to get that? No, he's not. So once again, Konsa down. And it's another foul in this game. It's getting a bit feistier as well as the momentum shifting.
Yeah. I can. There's some tackles coming in here that are late, that are a little bit reckless.
And the thing is, they're not entirely being made by the defenders as well. It's the wingers and the forwards that are making these challenges. So they are quite understandably quite reckless. Konsa is still feeling the effects of the challenge that he just had on himself there, though.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I was looking when I was doing my research for this game. Manchester United are ranked 4th in yellow cards and joint 1st in red cards. Villa are ranked 5th in yellow cards. They've got and also joint 1st in red cards as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a few more yellow cards dished out today.
Of course, I think that's something that especially Ralph Rangnick would want to change in his time here, you know, under Solskjaer, maybe a bit reckless. Red cards are plenty for some of these teams as the ball gets whipped in. Big chance here, and once again, a save. That was Luca Digne's chance to score on his debut. Great reaction save from David De Gea. 42 minutes gone. First half isn't dying down just yet here, Paul.
No, that was a super save, wasn't it? Digne got on the end of it, got the shot away, and great save with his feet for David De Gea. I come to this point where I'm calling him the Great Wall of De Gea.
The Great Wall of De Gea. He has been really good. I believe that's his 3rd save now that he's made. Over to Watkins, and once again, this first half, it's not dying down whatsoever. Here's Bruno Fernandez.
It's fascinating to watch, isn't it?
It is very fascinating. You look, and the game would be so much more open, I think, if United weren't leading here. You know, it was literally just one lapse of judgment by Martinez, and the ball's gone in. That's literally it. Apart from that, there's really nothing to separate these two sides.
No, it's Villa have come much more into the game since the half-hour mark. In my opinion, in the last 15 minutes or so, they've looked the better side.
They have, and I believe it was the same old story with the FA Cup fixture as well. Villa were the better side. They should have probably won the game. Here's Lange, though, on the left-hand side. He's moved the ball really, really well, but it's, again, a great challenge by Sanson. And Konsa, you saw just at the back of the screen, has gone down once again, and it is the challenge by Lange that occurred just a few minutes ago that I think he is still feeling the effects of, Paul.
Yeah. They'll perhaps, it's coming close to half time now, get the physio to look at him and assess his possibilities for the second half.
So he has got some defenders on the bench. You look, Ashley Young, Matt Targett, Kane Kessler, who could make his debut. Courtney House is on there as well. Manchester United on the bench, they've actually named 2 goalkeepers in Tom Heaton and Dean Henderson. So it's clear that they might be struggling with COVID injuries, but game's still going ahead, as you can see.
Which I'm glad of, because it's been a very interesting game so far.
It has, and, you know, 2 teams that they've played each other quite close in time. It's not something that you usually see, But 5 days separate the two fixtures that they have had here, as we have entered the 45th minute, and there is going to be 3 minutes of additional time. I thought it was going to be just 1 or 2 minutes or so, but I think late injuries late in the first half have extended that time, and I'll assume it'll go a little bit further out than that.
Yeah.
There is a player on the bench just getting himself ready.
Well, the head-to-head as well is going against Aston Villa. In the games that have been played, there's 53 games been played between the two sides in the Premier League. Villa only have 4 wins, 2 at home and 2 away. Manchester United have 37 wins, and there's been 12 draws.
So in 19 games, Aston Villa have played this season. They've won 7, only drawn 1 game, and lost 11 games. Of course, most of that was under Dean Smith. Steven Gerrard maybe trying to make a little bit more of an impact now that he's here. But they have lost 4 of their last 5 games. And like you said, only the 1 draw. The 1 win that they had was against Norwich, who are bottom of the league now. Sorry, they're not bottom of the league. They're actually 18th now after their 2-1 win today.
Yeah, that was a bit of a shocker today, wasn't it? With them picking up maximum points there. And Everton are sort of being dragged down now into this relegation mess as well.
Yeah, I didn't expect that whatsoever. But yeah, they are right down in that little relegation scrap. But I think it's really between 5 or 4 teams in that relegation battle. Everton should be fine. You can see Jadon Sancho on the bench there. Maybe a little bit annoyed that he didn't get picked tonight. And Lange's been good. But when you've got a player of Sancho's pedigree, his quality on the bench as well, you'd be annoyed that you're not getting picked.
Yeah, and I think that could be stoking some of the problems at Manchester United. You've got players like Donny van der Beek, Sancho, and they're not being picked. And they've proven themselves to be very, very good quality, world-class players. So I could understand his frustration.
Definitely, and 2 minutes of the 3 additional minutes have been played. We would expect a couple of minutes to be added on, though, just because of that little injury stoppage to Ezri Konsa. Now, Lindelof, a little bit of pressure back to Varane, who will just take it back to De Gea. 47.5 minutes played. You are listening to the Commentary Hub live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, as well as Twitch. Be sure to tune in tomorrow as well. We've got commentaries coming for the Sunday games as well. Is Mason Greenwood now looking to make a positive impact just before the end of the first half. Bruno Fernandez over to Fred. He's got an overlapping run from Diego Dalot, which he uses. It's Dalot against Digne, and the ball goes to Lange, who can have a go, and it just gets blocked. And it'll be a Manchester United corner to potentially see out this first half.
Yeah, and again, Lange's getting involved there. He's been very effective in this first half.
Yeah, he has really been effective. Very, very positive forward movements from the young Swede, just 19 years old, making his 5th appearance in the Premier League, but his first ever Premier League start this season, or in his career, rather. Greenwood now on the left-hand side, over to Bruno Fernandez. Ball gets whipped in. Lindelof tried to duck down just to let the ball go through. Over to Matic now. Left-hand side, here's Bruno. Back to De Gea now. I think they are just waiting for that half-time whistle to go. It's about 10 seconds until there would have been 4 additional minutes played. Ball played forward once again. Cleared away by Digne. Cavani, who's been quite quiet in this first half.
Yeah, he's been kind of shut down a little bit. I think United, their approach to this game, they've done very, very well, but it's not involved in Cavani too much. The game has sort of passed him by a little bit.
No, he'll just want to make sure he's in the right place at the right time. Goals against the likes of Newcastle United this season where he was in the right place at the right time. Here's Telles though, and once again, ball dispossessed, throw in. Could this be the last action of the first half, because we'll be entering the 50th minute here? Surely we'll be seeing a whistle soon. Just looking at the replay, it's a great forward run and not a lot of tracking by the fullback, Matty Cash there. I believe it was actually Konsa who had to move on to that side. Ralph Rangnick, just look on the replay, he wasn't happy with that. Now looking, is it going to be a long throw in? No, it's not. And that is the first half called. So an interesting first half there. 5 minutes in, Bruno Fernandez did get that goal. Shot from outside the box. It wasn't the most powerful one, but it slipped through the fingers of Emiliano Martinez. Claims for obstruction not given. Then a little bit later on, about 35 minutes in, Emi Buendia with a fantastic header from a corner, saved with great reflexes by David De Gea. And then on 42 minutes, Luca Digne nearly got his first goal for Aston Villa on his debut. A volley saved well by David De Gea. We'll go back to Russ for your halftime coverage, however. It is Aston Villa 0, Manchester United 1 at Villa Park.
Thank you very much there to Liam Busby and Paul James. We'll be back with them in plenty of time for the second half as we watch the game this evening. Should be very much indeed. So let's take a look at the other scores from the other matches in the England, which were taking place earlier today in the National League for you. And I'll go through some of the other scores as well. We've had an African Cup of Nations game already taken place today, which involved Nigeria. We'll tell you how they went on as well this afternoon. They kicked off at 4 o'clock, so they finished a few minutes ago. So before we go into the National League, in the African Cup of Nations Group D, encounter finished Nigeria 3, Sudan 1. Guinea-Bissau take on Egypt is at 7 o'clock. In the National League earlier on today, finished Barnet 1, Chesterfield 4, Grimsby 2, Altrincham 0, Wealdstone 2, Dover 1. National League North, Blythe Spartans 2, Gloucester City 0, Chester v Brackley postponed due to COVID in one of the camps, not sure which camp it was. Darlington 0, Kidderminster 1, Hereford 0, Gateshead 2, Kettering 3, Curzon Ashton 0, Leamington 0, Fylde 2. In the National League South, we finished Chelmsford City 0, Welling 0, Eastbourne Borough 5, Hungerford Town 2, Hampton Richmond 1, Dorking Wanderers 2, Hemel Hempstead Town 3, Bath City 1, Oxford City 1, Billericay Town 2. Some results in the AF Trophy to tell you about. Guiseley's game away story, which was postponed due to COVID in the Guiseley camp. Aldershot 0, Bromley 2, Alfreton 1, FC Halifax Town 1, FC Halifax Town 1, 3-2 on penalties. Bournemouth 1, Maidstone United 1, Bournemouth win 5-4 on penalties. Dagenham Redbridge 2, Southend United 0, Dartford 1, Weymouth 0, Morpeth Town 4, Boston United 3, Notts County 2, Eastleigh 1, Southport 0, Solihull Moors 3, Spennymoor Town 3, Plymouth Parkway 1, St Albans City 0, Cheshunt 3, Stockport County 3, Lark All Athletic 0, Tunbridge Angels 1, Kings Lynn 1, Tunbridge Angels win 4-3 on penalties. Yeovil 0, Needham Market. Yeovil 1, Needham Market 1, should I say, sorry. With Needham Market winning A7 on penalties. York 1, Slough Town 0. And there's one which kicked off a little bit later this evening, which at 5:30, so same time as our featured match, and it's Wrexham were taking on Folkestone in Visita, and Wrexham lead 1-0 thanks to Poncelli's goal on 30 minutes. There's some games been happening in the Scottish leagues, which we'll quickly just run through for you. In the Scottish Championship, Ayr 0, Morton 2, Dunfermline 1, Hamilton 0, Inverness Caledonian Thistle 2, Queen of the South 2, Raith Rovers 1, Arbroath 2 is a full-time score. Scottish League 1, Adrionians 3, Falkirk 2, Alloa Athletic 1, Queen's Park 1, Cove Rangers 1, Montrose 0, Dumbarton 2, East Fife 0, Peterhead 1, Clyde 1. In the Scottish League 2, and in Athletic 2, Forfar 2, Elgin City 1, Albion 1, Celtic Arts 2, Edinburgh City 2, St House Muir 0, Cowdenbeath 2, and Stranraer 3, Sterling 3 earlier today. Some other matches taking place. I'll give you those, some of the other results later on in the programme. Just before we get ready for the second half, we'll just fetch our co-commentator Paul James back into the action with us this evening. And Paul, from that first half, what was your overall thoughts on the end of that first half? And also, Paul, another question as well, which you can answer directly after this one, is what would you reckon Steven Gerrard would be saying to his players at half time?
Well, Manchester United dominated most of that first half, with the exception of the last 15 minutes where I felt Villa was a better team. It's unfortunate for Martinez. He made some excellent saves after that error. What I will say is that Manchester United, the setup that they've got right now, is making it very difficult for Villa to create chances. Last 15 minutes, Villa did dominate, in my opinion, and they created one or two chances, forcing David De Gea into a couple of smart saves. As far as what Gerrard would be saying to his players, he's got to look at it and say to them, well, okay, the first half an hour wasn't ours. The last 15 minutes, we started to play a little bit better. And we started to control the game a little bit more. I think he's got to be looking at bringing on Coutinho in the early part of this second half. I don't think he's going to want to wait past perhaps the 55th, 60th minute. Give this man an opportunity to make a difference, because I think Villa are missing that creativity at the moment, that final ball, if you would.
Yes, absolutely, Paul. And just looking at it from a Manchester United standpoint now, with the players that they've got on the bench, obviously we mentioned there's no Cristiano Ronaldo for Manchester United earlier on this evening. If we just look at who else is on the bench for Manchester United, which as Liam alluded to in commentary, they've got two sub goalkeepers on the bench in Tom Eaton and Dean Henderson, but they've got Phil Jones, Aaron Maguire, Lingard, Mata, Van der Beek, and Sancho. Liam alluded to it in commentary, and you did a little bit as well. What do you think Sancho be saying, or thinking, should I say, going into the second half, or right now anyway, thinking there's a youngster there in Lange who's going ahead of me today when Rashford is out. They spend so much money on me in the summer to get me in and get me back to the Premier League, but they're not using me. So what would you think if you was Sancho? What do you reckon Sancho would be saying right now, mate?
Oh, he'd be very frustrated, Ross. He'd be very frustrated. He did very, very well in the Bundesliga. He was a threat. He's not really had an opportunity to grow so much at Manchester United, and finding himself on the bench like this must be very, very frustrating. I get the feeling there is things going on inside that dressing room, that some of which is spilling out into the public, and they're trying to keep it sort of locked down. But there are things going on in that dressing room. There are a lot of problems at Manchester United right now. But I am very surprised Sancho was not given the start today. But having said that, let's be honest here, Ross. Lange has had an excellent game so far. He's been a threat down that left hand side. He's been part of that midfield that Bruno Fernandez has well controlled. So, I mean, you have to justify Ralph Rangnick's decision right now. It was a good decision because Lange is playing so well.
Yes, and just looking at as well as on the Villa bench, as we've already touched upon throughout the build-up and throughout that first half, which you and Liam were touching upon, Philip Coutinho's on the bench, Ashley Young on the bench as well, and they both know what it means to play against, and Ashley Young knows what it means to play for Manchester United as well. Do you reckon one or both of these will come on in that first half, in the second half, Paul? And if so, if you only one, which one do you think Gerrard will probably turn to the most? Or if both, who do you think would come off out of that starting lineup?
Well, I think Coutinho would be the one to come on, wouldn't he? And he can probably slot into almost any one of the positions in the midfield. What Steven Gerrard might do is pull one of the forwards off and perhaps play Coutinho just behind the remaining front two forwards.
Yes, absolutely. And just a quick one, obviously, you mentioned earlier at the start of the programme that you were expecting Aston Villa to win by a goal to nil.
Thanks, Ross.
Obviously, that is out of the window now, Paul.
Yes.
So, what is your full-time prediction? Are you still backing Villa to get a positive result in this one, or do you think, judging by their first-half performance, you see Man United getting something out of the game?
Oh, Manchester United look just so organised. This is the best I've seen them play for a very long time. If you're asking me now, I would say this is Manchester United's game to lose.
Yeah, so what would your overall score prediction be now? Because obviously it can't be 1-0 to Aston Villa, obviously, as you mentioned, pre-game.
I think Manchester United could go on to score again. They're certainly creating the chances. I'm gonna say it's so difficult with Coutinho lying on the bench there, Ross, as well. It's he can come on and change the game himself. But I do think the way Manchester United are playing right now, I'm gonna go with 2-0 to Manchester United.
Interesting thoughts there. We'll head back to Paul and to Liam very, very shortly for the second half coverage of our half-past-5 game between Manchester United, who are away to Aston Villa and lead by a goal to nil. Bruno Fernandez with that goal. And just a quick one as well, Paul, just as we wait for the second half to get underway and the teams to emerge back out. When I'm looking at the free kick again, which I've seen a couple of times during the game, during the half-time interval, I was looking at that, and from a positional point and a positional standpoint, in my opinion, it looked as though when Bruno Fernandez struck that free kick when he was set in line with Alex Telles, that Telles ran over the ball, didn't actually touch the ball. Fernandez then run in and took the shot. It looked as though Fernandez played the ball along to the side without Telles actually touching the ball first. I'm not sure if that's what you felt, but I've looked at it 2 or 3 times, looked at different angles that they've shown, and it still looks as though that Telles didn't get a touch to the ball there for me, Paul. I'm not sure what you think to that one, maybe just before the second half starts.
It's an interesting thought. I don't honestly, I don't know on that one, Ross. I think I think I've seen it a couple of times. It looked okay to me, but I mean, I don't dispute what you're saying. You're probably right, Russ. If you've looked at that, then it may be okay. But I honestly wasn't looking at that part of it when I saw the free kick. I wasn't looking at that part of it, whether he actually touched it or not. So that's an interesting point, Russ. Actually,
Yes, it is. Absolutely. I'm just looking at Liam McKenzie. Tellers did get touched to it, but I'm still not 100% sure. I'll have to see it again a little bit later on as the players getting ready to come back out. At the moment, Ezri Konza is out there just doing a bit of running with the ball, trying to run off the injury. Connie House, who Liam mentioned it amongst those on the Villa bench, looks like he may be coming on if the Villa defender Konza can't continue. Looks like that might be a change having to be made very, very shortly for Aston Villa. Will be getting ready to go back to the boys ready for the second half. Just getting a few. Just want to say hi to JB, who's been tuned in this evening. Hopefully you're doing okay, JB. Thank you very much for tuning in this afternoon. And Very good to have you on board, JB, as always, as listening when you're not involved. And with the second half about to get underway very, very shortly, let's land back over to your match commentary team. First, alongside him is Paul James, but first is Liam Busby.
Thanks very much, Russ. Yes, welcome back. 15 minutes of reflection, 15 minutes of anger, 15 minutes of celebration maybe for these two sides. I saw Courtney House there just having a little bit of a run on. He has potentially replaced Ezri Konsa, who did have a little bit of a knock in the first half there. We'll get confirmation of that pretty soon once the second half begins. Apart from that, yeah, I do believe it is Courtney House who's coming on. Apart from that, no other changes that we can see. So Coutinho is going to have to wait a little bit longer for his debut, Paul.
Yeah, but I don't see him. I mean, if the score stays the same, I don't see it going much past 60 minutes before that change is made.
Confirmation there. Courtney House has come on for Ezri Konsa. So clearly a bit of an underlying issue for Konsa after that challenge by Lange. So this could change the game a little bit, Paul.
Yeah. This is definitely an unfortunate situation for Villa. The injury itself that was picked up, I hope he's okay. But there's definitely potentially some issue here for Aston Villa. That's a loss of an important centre back.
It is, and you can see second half is underway now. Ramsey with the ball. So confirmation, just that one change in the first half. Courtney House replaces Ezri Konsa. Now, House does have the ball now. Over to Mings, back to House. And once again, pressure early from the Manchester United side. 1-0 up after the first 45 minutes. If you are just joining us now, welcome. This is the Commentary Hub. Liam Busby and Paul James providing coverage of the second half now at Villa Park. It is Aston Villa 0, Manchester United 1, but it is a challenge by Bruno Fernandez and an early yellow card just 40 seconds into the second half. And that's not what Bruno would have wanted. He's frustrated with that, surely.
Yeah, but he needs to keep his mouth shut. It's late. It's a foul. It's a yellow card. There can't be any complaints. The thing is, I mean, you go through the play and then you touch the ball. That doesn't make it a legitimate tackle. It's in my view, it's a yellow card, and what he needs to do now is just not argue.
No, not at all. Here's a Lange, though. Early on in this second half, a big chance and a great save by Emi Martinez. Once again, just trying to make up for the mistake that he made earlier in the first half. Of course, that is why Manchester United are leading 1-0. The ball slipping through his fingers after a shot from Bruno Fernandez, about 25 yards out. Here's Lange, though. The ball has gone out, and that'll be a throw-in to Aston Villa. Hopefully, we'll get a little replay of that chance, though. Here it comes now. So just sloppy possession there by Matty Cash, and Cavani does well just to lift the ball forward and comes in. It's a left-footed shot by Lange, but it's a great save straight at Martinez, but still needs to make a little bit of a reaction. Here's House now.
It's a smart reaction save, that. But I think it's a save he would have to make, but it's a smart reaction save. And just to point out, Martinez has been absolutely faultless since that era.
Yeah, he's a great goalkeeper, and it's a rare error that he's made there. In the last fixture that Man United played at Old Trafford, this was early on in the season, he actually saved a penalty from Cristiano Ronaldo. So he didn't save the penalty, but the penalty went over the bar. But he had a great performance in that game as well. So just once again, confirmation of lineups. So we've got for Manchester United, David De Gea in goal. Left back, Alex Telles. Centre backs, Rafael Varane and Victor Lindelof. Diego Dalot on the right-hand side. With Matic and Fred as the two central midfielders. Anthony Elanga making his first Premier League start for the Red Devils. Fernandez in the middle of the goal scorer with Mason Greenwood on the right-hand side. Edison Cavani is up front tonight for Manchester United. In the Aston Villa lineup, we have Emilio Martinez, Matty Cash on the right-hand side with Ezri Konsa being replaced by Courtney House now, as well as Tyrone Mings in the two centre-back positions. Luca Digne, who is on a yellow card from a foul in the first half, with Jacob Ramsey, Douglas Luiz and Morgan Sanson as the three midfielders Ollie Watkins on the left, Emiliano Buendia on the right, and Danny Ings up front. Speaking of Ollie Watkins, here he is, whips a ball in, cleared away by Rafael Varane. Only as far as Cavani on the edge of the box, who once again tries to clear it away, but it's Tyrone Mings, and Digne gets a lovely little touch on the ball and just flicks it up to Watkins, who doesn't have a lot of options, but does manage to find, that's Ramsey there. Over to Buendia. Here's Ramsey again, and a big chance, and a great save once again, getting down low. Was David De Gea, and the ball cleared away, but that was another chance to score, and it seems like Aston Villa have started the second half better than Manchester United here, Paul.
Yeah, that was an excellent move. And again, another fine save by David De Gea. And this is three extremely important saves he's made right now. And Villa have started this second half very, very well.
Yes, and once again, another chance there for Matty Cash this time. And it does go for a throw-in to Aston Villa. Lindelof just had to clear the ball away as quick as he could. Here's Buendia now. Can he get the ball in with his left foot? No, he can't. Back to Douglas Luiz. Over to Mings. It was a great move by Jacob Ramsey, though, into the path of Ollie Watkins. Back to Ramsey now, who was a bit quiet in the first half, but he's definitely made his presence known in the second and opening few minutes. Dispossessed the ball from Aston Villa, and it's a counter-attack for Manchester United now. Here's Mason Greenwood against Tyrone Mings. It's a big battle here between the two of them. A good ball into Fred, but can't get the ball. And Emiliano Martinez will take it and move forward for Aston Villa. 50 minutes gone. It is still Aston Villa 0, Manchester United 1, but it's been a feisty opening few minutes in the second half, Paul.
Oh, it's been very easy on the eyes to watch. Villa starting to create chances now in the second half. They've realised that they can get at this Manchester United defence, and they're building confidence. Let's see if they can take some of these chances.
Really are, and here's another chance now. Here's Buendia, just at the centre circle. Lots of space here for Luca Digne on the left-hand side. Waits for the cross, and it will come in and headed away by Lindelof. Matty Cash, though, inside the box now. There's a few touches before it goes to Buendia. Whipped in again, and Danny Ings can't get on the end of it. It's cleared away by Lindelof again. Is it going to go out for a corner? No, it's not. Digne putting the pressure on. Over to the edge of the box where Matic can get the ball away, but only as far is Sanson now, who's had a good opening second half. Ball whipped in. Digne. Sorry, that's Danny Ings can't get it. Watkins. Oh, well, Bruno Fernandez has gone down there like he's been fouled and really nothing there. And what is going on?
Oh, he's just swung out at someone.
Yeah,
there.
He has. And I think we might get a bit of a replay to this. It looked like Watkins was maybe just trying to get Fernandez up and he's kicked out. And there was a foul on the other side of the pitch as well. I believe it was Greenwood who went down, but a weird few seconds there. We're going to see it on the replay. So I'll tell you what, Fernandez has had a little foot to the ankle there, and Watkins, I think, actually goes to just apologise to him, and he's kicked out.
You have to be careful, Fernandez. He's been booked.
He has been booked, yeah. So I hope that they do take a look at that, because it was a bit silly from Bruno. We'll just see it again, the chance for Jacob Ramsey. It's a fantastic effort. De Gea has to get low and react well once again. That is one of the things that he's better at, his reactions.
He's been in super form this season, it has to be said. United would not be anywhere near the position that they are now if it wasn't for him.
Yes, and he's had his problems in the past, in the last few seasons, but you can see the stat there. He has made the most saves in the Premier League this season with 71, just best in Fabianski and Jose Sarr for Wolves and West Ham respectively. Here's Ramsey now. Pressure from Fred once again, who himself has had a fair few decent games this season. Matty Cash once again gets past the Lange. Over to Watkins. Buendia, who's playing more like a centre mid in this game, despite him being placed on the right wing this game. It's going to be another throw into Aston Villa. You can just hear the crowd getting into it a little bit more now. Cash taking the throw in. Over to Buendia, and Buendia just a little bit short on the pass. It does get dispossessed by Fred. And now Manchester United can move forward. Here is Diego Dalot. Over to Greenwood. Overlap and run. He doesn't choose to take it, though. Good challenge by Danny Ings. And the ball goes out for a throw-in. Matic to take. Oh, sorry, it's not Matic. It is going to be Dalot. Shot of Coutinho there. He'll be ready. He'll be ready for his debut. He's got his stretches in now. He'll be watching this game thinking, he's played against these sides before. He'll know what to do. He'll know how he can change the game. We are looking at 53 minutes on the clock now, so still plenty of time for him to come on and make an impact, but you have got to think it has got to be sooner rather than later, Paul.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think the way Villa are playing right now, I honestly think now is the time to bring him on. Villa have got their heads up. They're playing well. They're creating opportunities. This particular type of game is made for him.
And it's just a shame. I think it has thrown a spanner into the works for Steven Gerrard's men. As Sanson just dispossessed a kick out from De Gea and a free kick for his troubles as well. The substitution that he's had to make with Ezri Konsa, it has definitely thrown a spanner into the works, and maybe we might have to wait a few more minutes than we would have anticipated for Coutinho to come on now. Speaking of Courtney House, here he is on the ball. He has time, and it's a decent ball forward, actually, over to Digne, who likes making them forward runs, and he's got space now, and he passes it over to Buendia, and it's a nice held save again by David De Gea. It was shot straight towards his clutches, though, wasn't it, Paul?
Yeah, it was a comfortable save, one you'd expect him to make. But another great move by Villa there. Digne is coming more into the game in the second half down that left-hand side. He is really giving Manchester United a bit of a headache.
He is, and I'll tell you what, you never know. There's still plenty of time left in this game. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a goal potentially go in. There is a lot of pressure on that team at the moment, on Manchester United, as it looks like now Aston Villa are playing the way that Ralph Rangnick would, just with a lot of pressure. You can see Buendia now just pushing as far forward as he can. And it's close. It's very close between Buendia and De Gea, and that actually is going to go out for an Aston Villa throw-in now.
Yeah, they've started very well in this second half, pressing Manchester United, pushing them back. This is an excellent response by Aston Villa.
It is, of course, like we mentioned in the first half, this game, if it's 0-0, it's going to be wide open, but now it's 1-0, the door just seems slightly shut now. Here's Martinez over to House. Both sided players in the defence, so you talking Digne and Matty Cash, they are pushing just a little bit further up now. Like we said, Digne likes to take that run forward. He's got a good left foot to him. If he wanted to cut inside, have a shot with the right foot, then he could. Ball forward, though, dispossessed by Varane, only as far as Sanson, who gets it to Digne, to Luiz. And now here's Digne, who can have a go, and he will, and it's just hit the side netting. Digne's very feisty with the ball, like we were mentioning there. He's using that left foot to his advantage, but still nothing on his debut so far.
No, but I will say this, Liam. He, as you mentioned earlier, he likes to get forward, and he's doing that in this second half, and he's making a significant difference. Not just Digne, but Matty Cash on the other side as well. They're both making a significant difference and causing Manchester United some problems in this second half.
They really are causing a fair few problems here. And the thing is, as well, when Digne goes forward, you see in Jacob Ramsey just going into that left-back position. So he's got cover. He's free to do what he wants on that left-hand side. They've brought him in for a reason. They know what he can do. And let's see if he can defend as well, because they are on the right-hand side now for Manchester United. But it's Buendia who is just piling the pressure onto Bruno Fernandez, who has been very rocky in this opening second half, in the opening 12 or so minutes of the second half. And now, is it going to be a throw-in? No. Stays in for Man United. A bit of a high foot, but nothing given. Over to Watkins now for Aston Villa. Sanson, who's really started this second half well. And the ball just doesn't go where Ings wants it. And he stops right in his tracks. And it will get cleared away by Manchester United. Only as far as Douglas Luiz, though. Still in Manchester United's half. Ball stays in. Over to Watkins, who gets brought down, but Varane gets the ball with it. And it's going to be a Man United counter-attack here now. Here's Fred over to Dalot. He's got a few options here. Mason Greenwood's one of them, who he gets the ball to. An overlap and run from Dalot, but Greenwood doesn't see it. And there's a shot from Greenwood. And it does just go a little bit wide of the mark. But it's an interesting move there for Manchester United. The first positive movement from the Red Devils in the second half, Paul.
Yeah, They moved the ball along nicely there. Mason Greenwood has been fairly effective in this game. It's been a bit quiet to start the second half, as the rest of the Manchester United team has as well. But he is a very, very effective player. He's having a wonderful season so far. And I have no doubt he'll be on Gareth Southgate's list for the World Cup in Qatar in November.
Definitely. And just seeing that Greenwood shot must have actually taken a bit of a deflection, because it is a corner to Manchester United here. Whipped in by Fernandez, cleared our way by Ollie Watkins, though. And now, is this going to be a forward charge from Aston Villa? No, it's not. Ball comes back in, and Cavani almost had a little chance there, but cleared away by Matty Cash. Touchdown brilliantly by Luca Digne. Oh, and it only goes as far as Lange, though, who will have a chance to shoot, and he does. And it just goes wide of the post now. Big chances that are going astray here for both sides, I must say.
Yeah, and you know what? The more and more I watch Lange, when he's brought into the game, he's causing panic in that Villa defence. And it was very unfortunate there. Perhaps he should have hit the target, but they're surrounding him. They can't get close to him. He's been a threat for Manchester United this whole game, and I think he's a key here, I think, for Manchester United. They want to try to bring him into the game a little bit more.
Of course, and he's playing on that left-hand side, but I think when he has the chances, he's actually in the middle of the park. So if he wanted to play as a striker, maybe he could. Most shots in this match, Mason Greenwood and Anthony Lange, the two wingers actually, who have been cutting inside a fair bit, both on 4. So it's clear that these two players are making a bit of a difference.
Yeah, and he's currently in that attacking midfield role, but he can absolutely probably move forward, and he's very, very. He's probably going to be very flexible, either as a forward or an attacking midfielder. And I think he might need to push it forward, because Cavani's getting nothing at the moment.
I'm just going to have to stop you there, Paul. Here's Greenwood, who has a chance. Oh, it's just wide of the post there. Once again, that was a better chance than the first one for Greenwood just a few minutes ago. That looked like it was certain it was going in there. Great pass by, it was Fred there. And just a great burst of pace by Greenwood, just wide of the post there, Paul.
Yeah, it was difficult for him because the angle was very tight, but the look on his face kind of gave himself an early indication that it might have been going in. I looked at that and I thought, that's going in, and then it just creeped to the wrong side of the post. But it's an excellent effort because it's a tough angle, that.
And the game maybe just shifting more towards Manchester United's favour now. We are 61 minutes in. It is still Aston Villa 0. Manchester United 1 is going forward now, or Aston Villa. And it's a great chance now for Villa. Here's Buendia, Digne on that left-hand side like he has been all game now. It's a great ball in, and Matty Cash can't get onto it. Buendia slips and then bundles down. I think that was Cavani. But another counter-attack now as Mings. This is end-to-end football here, Paul. Digne now on the left-hand side.
Excellent stuff, Liam. Excellent stuff.
It is fantastic. And it's Ramsey now in the middle, taking the ball forward. This is brilliant. And is there going to be a free kick? No, I think they just sort of bundled over the ball there, but he took on about 3 players there, and that'll be called as a free kick as Douglas Luiz takes Fred down. And I think the referee might go to his pocket here for a yellow card as well.
Let's see if he does. Yeah, it's kind of a breakout situation, so the referee might look at that as being a professional foul and give him a yellow, but I don't see it given yet.
Just with Jacob Ramsey there, he has sort of just bundled into Lindelof there, sorry. And no yellow card whatsoever. So it was a professional foul by Douglas Luiz, but no yellow card. I thought I did see him dipping into his pocket, but apparently not. Here's Lindelof now. Over to Varane. Varane now gets it over to Telles, who had a great first half in his own right. Did get the assist for the Bruno Fernandez goal. There was a little bit of debating from both Russ and yourself there if Telles did get a touch on the ball or not.
I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you, Liam. I don't know. I have to say I must admit I didn't see that part of it. Russ seems to have looked at it a couple of times. So, but you seem pretty confident he touched it.
I did see a knock on by Telles, yeah, but I think other people have saw differently. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not too sure. But here's Lange again, who sweeps the ball away really well from Watkins, but he has lost the ball, unfortunately. Here is Matty Cash now. Over to Buendia. Watkins now plays the ball forward to Matty Cash, and this is a real chance here for Villa. And Ings just gets bundled down in the box, but nothing enough for a penalty. It's going to be a throw into Aston Villa now, but this game, once again, is really picking up. It's a fantastic, interesting tie here on the commentary hub. 63 minutes gone, and it is Aston Villa 0, still Manchester United 1. But this game, like we said, is really heating up. Throwing comes to nothing, though. It's Dalot. Just gets away from Sanson, switches the ball brilliantly over to Bruno Fernandez there. He's got an overlap and run of Lange, making his first Premier League start tonight. Cavani over to Fernandez again, gets brought down, gets the ball though, does Douglas Luiz. Bruno Fernandez has stayed down though, over to Douglas Luiz again. Now it's this forward movement from Aston Villa, and it's just again, Buendia. He's happened a couple of times now, just silly little long balls that haven't done anything. As Bruno Fernandez has once again stayed down. I'm not sure if they've stopped the game yet. I think they have now, just to check on him. He's holding his hamstring, but it didn't look too bad. Oh, I think there's
he stood
a little
on
bit
him.
of afters there.
Yeah, he stood on him. I'm not sure whether he did it deliberately now, but... My goodness me.
I don't think it's deliberate, but it's still not nice to watch.
No.
Yeah, goes straight onto the back of the leg of Bruno Fernandez there. It's Douglas Luiz. It's not on purpose. He's just bundled over him. But there is a little bit of a drinks break now, just whilst they are tending to Bruno Fernandez. He has got back up now. A little bit of the magic sponge, magic spray, and he's all right. Cavani gave him a smack on the back of the head as well. And you can see there on the bench, Philip Coutinho is getting ready now. He's kitting up. Do you think he'll go off for a Buendia or a Watkins, or do you think he'll play more into the central midfield role?
Well, they certainly don't want to make any changes. The chances are being created from Cash and Digne mostly. So I think it might be interesting to see if he takes off one of the front two and plays Coutinho behind the front two. But he may just go for maybe taking off Luiz as a possibility and playing him in the central midfield.
Quite possibly. So we just had the ball kicked back over to De Gea. So we're still going to have to wait a few minutes for Coutinho to come on. He is kitting himself up a little bit, though, so might still be a little bit of time. Lange down to Cavani. I think he was expecting that forward run from possibly Fernandez, who's back on the pitch now. Fred pressurising Digne. Greenwood pressurising Digne now. Oh, and it's a bad pass. And is Fred going to dispossess that? Yes, he is. And it's a chance for Bruno Fernandez, and it is into the back of the net. And that is a second goal. It's double trouble for Bruno Fernandez. 2-0 to Manchester United. And what a finish it was. Fred capitalising on a mistake from the midfield. A midfield that has been quite good in this second half. But unfortunately, it has gone Manchester United's way, the second goal. Hasn't put the game to bed yet, though. Still 25 minutes or so left to go. It was Morgan Sanson who had started the second half really well. Has just slipped and I think lost the ball. It's gone to Fred. Fred has passed it over to Bruno Fernandez, and he is absolutely clinical from those positions. It's Aston Villa 0 now, Manchester United 2. Emiliano Martinez couldn't do anything about it.
No, there's nothing he could have done about that. The error there in giving the ball away. But Bruno Fernandez has been excellent all game for the most part. He's controlled the midfield, he's created chances, and he's bagged his second goal there as well.
Yes, that's his second goal and his 7th goal of the season. Cristiano Ronaldo is the top scorer this season with 14, but Bruno Fernandes just about halfway down from him with 7. And that is actually going to be Morgan Sanson's last chance to make an impact on the game, because he has been subbed off now. So maybe a bit of an unfortunate time for him to get subbed off there. But Coutinho is on. He is making his debut here for Aston Villa. 23 minutes to go, plus stoppage time. It's going to be an interesting end to this second half here, Paul, with Coutinho now making his first appearance for Aston Villa.
Yes, seeing him come on now, it looks like they're sticking with the 4-3-3. I guess they kind of really have to now that they've conceded that second goal. But it might be interesting to see now what impact Coutinho has on this game.
Yes, so Coutinho, he should get his first touch as soon. You see him making a forward run straight away. He's playing, it's almost like he's a number 10 there who gets the ball and once again has the ball, loses it to Fred though. Once again, the game just picking up a little bit more now.
Yeah, it's almost it's just a battle of the midfield at the moment as well, isn't it? Really.
It really is. It's been a fantastic, interesting game, and both sides I think could have had about 4 goals each. It's just unfortunate the way that the goals have come. 2 slight errors from the Aston Villa players, and it has actually cost them. So, on paper, it doesn't really look like it's a 2-2 game. You just have to look into it and look at the mistakes that were made, and that's where the 2-0 comes from.
Yeah, Villa have been a little bit unlucky today because for parts of this game they've dominated. They've created chances with Digne and Matty Cash down the left and the right hand side, and look at the frustration there by Sanson, and I totally understand that. It's always worse being taken off when you've made an error and you don't have the opportunity to get some redemption for that error.
No, and here we go again. This is Manchester United on the counter-attack for a 3rd goal, potentially. Mings just tries to push Greenwood off the ball. If he went down there, you could have argued that he could have got a penalty. Here is Digne now. Douglas Luiz, who has adopted more of a centre-back role, just whilst Mings is a little bit further up the field. Here's Courtney House now. Over to Danny Ings. You can see Coutinho. He's open. He wants the ball, and he's got the ball here. So is he going to pass it on to Digne? No, he's not. He's going to cut inside. Gets it over to Buendia, who, once again, he's played that long ball forward, and it's not worked. That is the 3rd or 4th time that he's done it now in this game.
Yeah, it's giving the ball away there. It's not what Villa need. He didn't need to go down that side at that point, and the ball was sloppy, to say the least.
Yeah, it was sloppy, and it's just not what you need when you're 2-0 down against a team like Manchester United as well.
Yeah, they've looked good today, Manchester United, for the most part. There are times where they've been dominated by Villa, but they really, really have looked very solid today. Fernandez has been outstanding so far.
Yeah, he has been fantastic. You look at his form when he first joined Manchester United. I think the arrival of Cristiano Ronaldo has just maybe put a bit of a dampener on that form, but now that he's not playing, he can really come out of his shell again. There's Buendia just playing a ball across the pitch. It's a little bit sloppy again. He's made Cash run for it. Over to Mings though, just at the final third for Aston Villa. Back to House. Over to Cash again. Cash is. It's been an interesting little battle between Cash and Lange this game. There's a long ball forward to Digne gets played. So the 2 of the new debutants are on the pitch now in Digne and Coutinho. It's going to be a corner though for Aston Villa and a chance to maybe just peg one back with 20 minutes to go. Coutinho is going to be on this corner. He's got options as well. The likes of Mings. They do like getting a header on the ball. I don't think the corner's beaten the first man there, and it's going to be a counter-attack from Aston Villa. Douglas Luiz gets brought down, and it's going to be a free kick to Aston Villa. Foul by Greenwood. And it's I'd say about 35, 40 yards out here for Aston Villa. So I wouldn't say it's shooting territory, but definitely a big chance to get the ball in, just try and capitalize and get another goal.
Well, it's. I think Coutinho is obviously desperate to impress, but I think he just needs to settle down, calm down. This is an opportunity maybe to just sort of dink the ball towards the penalty area, see if they can create a chance.
Well, let's see what happens. There's Buendia and Douglas Luiz both under the ball, as well as Digne, I believe. And who is it going to be that takes the free kick now? It is Douglas Luiz who just gets it to the far side of the pitch over to Cash. But there's not a lot of options there for him. He is on the back, but he's done all right with what he's had. Coutinho now, he's got a chance. Oh, and I think that was actually coming off a Man United player there. Another chance again, though, for Watkins. And just wide. It was an interesting ball in there by Mings. Let's have a look, though, and see what Coutinho did there, because I don't think he actually got a shot off. No, it's actually been kicked into the back of De Gea by Matic there. So
Yeah.
De Gea didn't even. Sorry, that was Coutinho. Didn't even get a shot on there. It was
Yeah,
literally
that
just
was an excellent
Matic
piece of
stopping it
defending,
on.
actually.
Yeah, it was. It was interesting to say the least. But if it doesn't come off, then you're shouting at him all day. But ball up by De Gea now, goes straight out for a throw in. Lange maybe just pulled up a little bit there. We'll have the man of the match in about 10 minutes' time. So, Paul, get your thinking hat on and have a little think who you believe is the man of the match for this game. Ralf Rangnick has just lost one of his first 7 games as Man United manager. Of course, this is the 7th game. Oh, sorry, this is the 8th game, rather. He lost that game against Wolverhampton Wanderers not so long ago. It was a disappointing fixture for them, a game that they could have really ran away with, but just didn't have the right chances for it. And De Gea now manages to pick the ball up nicely. Still about 15 minutes to go now. You are listening to the commentary hub, providing alternate commentary of Aston Villa taking on Manchester United. The score currently is 2-0 to Manchester United. Goals from Bruno Fernandez. Both times, little mistakes from either a goalkeeper or a midfielder in this case. Here is Ollie Watkins, though, looking to try and bring one back for Aston Villa. Make a game out of it now. Watkins dispossessed by Lange, and Lange keeps the ball as well. House now is Cavani did go down there. Over to Buendia, who hasn't been the best player in the second half. Definitely one of his poorer performances in an Aston Villa shirt. Over to Cash now. Cash to Ramsey. Great overlapping run by Matty Cash. He can whip the ball in now. And it's Watkins again who hits the header. And if that doesn't go out, it's actually hit the corner flag and gone out, unfortunately. Paul, it's a quiet couple of minutes there. I think Aston Villa, they are trying, but they look a little bit tired now.
They do. They are still creating chances. Ollie Watkins has got to do better with that. But they are still creating chances. But it seems to me, at least for the chances that they have created, has come down the 2 flanks. But another change coming up now by Aston Villa. Danny Ings has gone off.
Yeah, so Danny Ings for Carney Chukwuemeka. It's an interesting change, this one. So they have gone striker for striker. They did have, let's see what options they had. They had Archer on the bench there, number 35. Here's Jadon Sancho, though, who will come on for Manchester United. That is all 3 substitutions used, though, for Aston Villa. So they are going to see the game out with the players that they have on now. Here's Watkins now. Over to Ramsey. Here's Chukwuemeka. Did manage to get past a player or two, but nothing doing. Here's Mings, though, making a venturous run and doing quite well, actually. Coutinho now on the left-hand side. Passed it over to Chukwuemeka. Here's a chance, though, and it's Ramsey! And it is a goal for Aston Villa and a lifeline for Aston Villa as well. 14 minutes to go. Brilliant play there from Aston Villa. Just when we said we thought they were getting a little bit more tired, they have just pulled something out of nothing. It was originally started by Tyrone Mings, of all people, getting past a couple of players. Philip Coutinho involved as well. And Chukwuemeka as well, a player who had just come onto the pitch, looking for offside. They all look okay there. Coutinho manages to get it over to Ramsey, and it will be an assist for Coutinho as well. His first assist on his return to the Premier League. Great goal there, Paul.
Yes, it created the chance. It was great work as well. It was a wonderful team play. Coutinho will get the assist, but it was a great build-up by Aston Villa, and Ramsey tucks that away and has now made the last 13 minutes of this game very interesting, Liam.
Of course. Now, what are Manchester United going to do? Are they going to sit back a little bit, or are they going to want to go for a 3rd goal now? That was Ramsey's 3rd goal of the season as well. So he's been a player who has been quite influential, especially in the second half. He had chances earlier on as well, but nothing doing. Here's Buendia now. Elanga has come off for Sancho. So a move that we thought might have been done before the game even started has finally happened.
Well, I think Villa they've got a chance now to get themselves back into this game. I have to say I've been impressed with Manchester United for the most part. But I think Villa now have a real opportunity to get themselves back into this game.
Yeah, it's a massive chance now. We will probably see a bit more added time as well. Sancho is a player who can make an impact. I think Lange might have actually picked up a bit of a knock there whilst he was playing in the final few minutes. You can see Steven Gerrard really willing his team on there. Let's see, Varane over to Lindelof. They'll be annoyed that they've lost their clean sheet as well. They'll want to make an impact in the last few minutes of this game. It is 79 minutes gone here on the commentary hub. It is Aston Villa 1 now, Manchester United 2. 12 minutes left in this game. You do not want to go anywhere.
No,
Here's
definitely
Bruno
not.
Fernandez. Sancho knocks it on really well for Bruno Fernandez. Is it going to be a chance for a third for Manchester United? Not this time. Emi Martinez manages to get the ball away, and he'll want to move this ball as quick as he can now. But he doesn't have many options in far out, so it does go over to Tyrone Mings instead.
Starting again from the back, Villa, aren't they?
Paul, of course, Coutinho came on. He did get the assist there. How important do you think that's going to be for his development as a player at Aston Villa?
It'll give him a ton of confidence. It's a nice start. He's not played in the Premier League for a while. Obviously been in La Liga, so it'll give him a ton of confidence.
Without a doubt, I'm excited to see what happens in this final. We'll be coming up to 10 minutes now, plus stoppage time. We do expect a few extra minutes of stoppage time. You can see David De Gea now just taking his time with the ball here. 10 minutes to go. You can see West Ham versus Leeds tomorrow on Sky Sports. Varane can't do anything with it, and it goes back to Mings. And this is just, once again, it's opening the door for Aston Villa to try and find an equaliser here. Here's Courtney House now. Over to Mings once again. Now, Chukwuemeka is playing in that left-back role, once again just covering for Luca Digne here. Courtney House now. They want to get the ball forward, Aston Villa. Here's Douglas Luiz. Over to Mings. And now Coutinho with the ball. He's got them bright yellow boots on. Sorry, it was Ollie Watkins. And here's Jacob Ramsey with another chance. And it's Coutinho. And he does get his debut goal. And it is an equaliser for Aston Villa. This game, in the last 10 minutes, has been flipped on its head. Philip Coutinho given an absolute wonder chance for Aston Villa to level this game. And just like the player he was for Liverpool, has taken that chance. And it is now Aston Villa 2, Manchester United 2. What a difference a player makes. What a difference 10 minutes makes. Wow. Paul, your thoughts on that? What an interesting final 10 minutes we're going to have here. Manchester United will be fuming with what's happened here.
Oh, well, didn't we say, Liam, that he's fully capable of changing the game when he comes on? Didn't we say that he's well capable of being the difference? And he certainly has been since he's come on.
And it's just in the 6-yard box. It's clinical finishing. And it's a fantastic ball as well. I think it was Ramsey who got the assist. So it was originally Coutinho who got the assist for Ramsey's goal. And now Ramsey has returned the favour. Coutinho actually dug his feet into the ground a little bit as well. But that is 2-2 in this game. What an interesting final 10 minutes we're going to have here.
Oh, certainly. And you also have to look at the fact that Villa deserve this. They've played very, very well in the second half for the most part, and they've created chances.
Yeah, they really have. And like we said in the start of the second half, you look at the stats in this game is absolutely neck and neck. 2-2 here. Literally 8 minutes plus stoppage time. You are listening to the commentary hub. Don't go away. You don't want to miss this one whatsoever. You can hear the fans at Villa Park really in fine voice now after that equaliser. And it was really set up on a plate by Jacob Ramsey as well. It was a fantastic little move from him just to get the ball into the box, into the 6-yard box. And then Coutinho did what he could, just smashed it back into the back of the net. But 7 minutes now, there's still plenty of time for one of these teams to score a goal. Is it going to be Manchester United? Is it going to be Aston Villa? The way the momentum's shifting now, it's looking like it's going to be in the way of Aston Villa.
Yeah, they've done very well in the second half as a whole anyway, and they really have got the crowd on this side. The whole 10 making a lot of noise right now. This is a chance for Aston Villa now to go on and get all 3 points here and do the double over Manchester United for the first time in the history of the Premier League.
Well, this will be interesting. You can just see there, I think Buendia wanted to try and stop the ball and get a free kick, but he's actually paid the price there. He's had his fingers trod on. Here is Matty Cash now, wants to get the ball forward. Still 6 minutes plus stoppage time to go here. You're listening to the commentary hub. Don't go anywhere. Here's Digne, the ball, just not good enough for him. Man United have a throw-in now. Here's Dalot, who will take the throw-in. Over to, let's see, he's taking his time on this throw-in. It's over to Fernandez, to Cavani now. Dalot keeps the ball alive. Mings. Dispossessed though, and it's over to Bruno Fernandez. Once again, dispossessed for Man United. And then Manchester United get the ball back. Here's Jadon Sancho on the left-hand side. Is he going to be able to catch that ball before it goes out? Yes, he will. Nutmegs Matty Cash for his troubles as well. Dispossessed though by Aston Villa, and Villa can counter-attack now. Here's Digne on the left-hand side. Back over to Martinez, who was looking for a long kick and will do that long kick now. Pressure from Cavani. It'll go out for a Manchester United throw-in now. Ralf Rangnick just catching the ball so Telles can take the throw-in as quick as he can. Over to Varane now, who, you know, they both had a fantastic game, both Varane and Lindelof. And now they'll be absolutely kicking themselves now. 2 defensive lapses. And it's 2-2 now. It's crazy how quick a game can turn on its head. Here's Sancho
absolutely.
again now. Telles is making an overlapping run. Here's Bruno Fernandez. Lets the ball just glide under his feet. Chukwuemeka. And now a counter-attack now for Aston Villa. Is Watkins going to get that? No, he's not. Coutinho will get it, though. Here's Coutinho on the left-hand side. Driving forward is Coutinho. Ollie Watkins. Can he get a ball in? Over to Chukwuemeka. And now just out. Here's Matty Cash again. Courtney House. Now Tyrone Mings gets forward. Here's Buendia. He's got space. Chips the ball up for Coutinho, but dispossessed by Telles. And now Matic can move the ball forward now. 4 minutes to go plus stoppage time here. Once again, Aston Villa and Manchester United. This game is absolutely end-to-end at the moment. Here's Mings. Wants to get the ball forward. Buendia. Buendia looks absolutely spent, though. He's given absolutely everything. Chukwuemeka in the middle of the park now. Here's Ramsey. Over to Douglas Luiz. Digne on the left-hand side. They're being cautious now, Aston Villa. Of course, it is 2-2, but you don't want to throw everything away just like that. They've worked so hard to get the 2 goals back that they needed. And I think Manchester United might just be preparing a third change for the last few minutes now. But here's Luca Digne on the left-hand side. It's a massive chance. Over to Coutinho. Sorry, it was Ramsey. But Coutinho now will have a shot. And I think Ramsey just got in his way. But that could have been it. That could have been the 3rd goal and the 2nd for Coutinho tonight. What an impact he would have had if that went in, Paul.
Oh, absolutely. And it begins with a super ball to Digne. But he gets the shot in. Unfortunately, it's right at De Gea, who gets down to make the stop. But he has made a significant difference. And when I'm thinking of man of the match, I'm looking at Bruno Fernandez or Coutinho. And it's very difficult to differentiate between the two because both have been significant in this game. But I'm going to give it to Coutinho because his performance has transformed Aston Villa in this game.
He's had a real impact, hasn't he?
He has, and he's just showing his goal again there. Some sloppy defending by Manchester United there, but it was a good ball. I would say, look at Martinez. I would say, yes, man of the match for me is Philippe Coutinho.
Philippe Coutinho, you cannot doubt his influence whatsoever. He's been fantastic ever since he's come on. He's not had actually that many touches when you think about it, but he's just been in the right place at the right time. And here it is, a double change now for Manchester United. Both Donny van der Beek and Jesse Lingard coming on. So Ralf Rangnick does not want to sit back here. It's Mason Greenwood that's going to come off. And it's Bruno Fernandez as well coming off for both these players.
It's an interesting change.
It is interesting.
I mean, really, Bruno Fernandez, in my opinion, has been Manchester United's best player.
He has, but I think he's given just all that he can now.
I wonder if Ralf Rangnick is just kind of settling for the point at this stage.
See, with that being said, he's brought on attacking-minded players. He had defenders on the bench that he could have used. So I think he still wants to go for it here, Paul.
It's possible. It's definitely possible. I mean, he'll see this as 2 points dropped. That's for sure. Having a 2-0 lead.
Of course, but there is still time for this game. Yeah, 2-2, 89 minutes gone now. You're listening to the commentary of Philip Coutinho leveling the game up. Before that, a Jacob Ramsey goal that just shifted the tempo a little bit. Douglas Luiz, though, on the free kick, just on the edge of the halfway line. About 30 seconds before we get to see how much added time we have. Martinez pushes that ball forward. And Mings again gets his head up. And now who's going to be able to clear it away? Digne gets his head on it again. Over to Fred. Chukwuemeka just has a try, though. Here's Courtney House. Coutinho. Chukwuemeka. Over to Buendia in the middle of the park. He's got a few options there. Once again, just playing it back. Here's Tyrone Mings now. 4 minutes added on. It's a little bit less time than I anticipated, but still 4 minutes for one of these sides to make an impact. But I think either way, Aston Villa will be the team who goes home happy. After being 2-0 down with about 20 minutes to go, they have managed to find a way.
Yeah, they've they've looked good at Villa. There's 4 minutes, they can still win it.
Plenty of time now, and I think this might even add on to the extra time that we had. Here's Buendia just down on the floor at the moment. It was a foul by Matic, who had got a yellow card, so he needs to be careful, even in these dying embers of the game. A minute played of the 4. And I don't know if he's going to get any treatment here, but Buendia is milking this for all he can, and the physio is going to come on, so this will be a bit of additional time in this second half. And I think this might actually, in a way, maybe just shift the momentum a little bit and just take the momentum away from what Villa had.
Yeah, it's a head injury, so I mean, one has to be careful in this situation. But it looked to me when I look at the replay, Liam, that it was a bit of a flailing arm, but I don't think it was deliberate. But it looks like he might have just caught him.
Of course, sorry. I've just been given there's an advert that's just come on the television, so my feed has gone for a little bit, Paul, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on.
Well, they're treating him right now. Is currently down being treated. It's a head injury, but it does not look it does not look good. He's still down, and they're treating it. So the referee is going to add on some extra time, of course. But he's still down. It doesn't look good.
Well, let's hope he can get up, and let's hope these adverts come off as well, because I'm losing a bit of game time here.
I've just got a bit of footage in here a moment. He's just coming off the field now, Liam, just while you wait to get your pictures. Bad when he's just off the field, and it looks as though, from the pictures I've got here, Ashley Young is a man who's going to be getting ready to come on for Aston Villa for the final few minutes. But Villa have just got a free kick, which is whipped in towards the penalty area. And then it's saved. Back over to you, Liam.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Russ. So, yeah, a little bit of a delay there. So, on my screen, Buendia is finally up, but we are going to have a bit more added time here, I think. And it's Ashley Young, actually, who's... Yes, they are. They're able to do an extra substitution if there is a head injury. So Ashley Young might be the player who comes on here. It's a rule that hasn't really been enforced in this season. But let's see if he does come back on, Buendia. I think he might be okay. So 3 minutes of the 4 additional minutes played. But we'll have to see if he does come back on or not, because at the moment it does look unlikely. Free kick, though, is whipped in, and it is safely into the clutches of David De Gea.
I don't know whether Villa are going to want to risk it, to be honest, given that he has come back on. But I don't. I'm not sure how much of a good idea that is to have risked it at this point.
Yeah, and with that being said, here's Jacob Ramsey, who was given man of the match on the just on the Sky footage. But here's Van der Beek now, who wants to make a bit of an impact, but is unfortunately not really going to do anything there. Here's Digne just moving the ball through the middle of the park over to Matty Cash. Driving the ball forward now is Matty Cash. Ollie Watkins tries to spin round, but is dispossessed almost straight away. Sancho now on the left-hand side. 4 of 4 played on, but we'll have a couple of minutes extra here. Buendia does manage to dispossess Sancho. Going into the dying embers now, and it is offside call for Ollie Watkins. The ball was moved up there quite nicely, but he was the only person there. And I think he is going to just miss out, unfortunately.
It's nice to see the linesman pop his flag up right away.
Yeah, of course. They have been asked to delay their decisions for the sake of VAR, but here's Manchester United with the ball now, maybe just looking to just see this game out. It's going to be a throw-in, though, to, I believe it's going to be to Manchester United here. A little bit of a touch from an Aston Villa player. Yes, it is. So this could be the last chance now of this game. Of course, added time because of the injury issue to Buendia. We are going to have maybe another minute or so of additional time. Here's Ballot. He plays the ball in, and it does go to Sancho on the edge of the box now, just on the right-hand side. Over to Van der Beek, turns, and he has a shot, and it is just blocked by Courtney House, and there's going to be a corner here in the 96th minute of the game. Is this going to be the last chance here for Manchester United and for Aston Villa to possibly keep this draw that they have now? A crucial block by Courtney House just to get the ball away and make the ball go out for a corner. But here is Alex Telles now. He's urging his team on. Here is Alex Telles. The ball is whipped in, and it's cleared away by House. One more chance maybe for Manchester United. Here's Dalot. It's whipped in again and claimed by Emi Martinez. And there goes the whistle. So it is a dramatic end to this second half now. Aaron Ramsey's efforts saved low early on in the second half. Greenwood just wide its points in this half. But Bruno Fernandez looked like he'd sealed the game when there was a mistake from Morgan Sanson. It was capitalised by Fernandez. But Jacob Ramsey got the goal. A nice finish with a Coutinho assist. And then Philip Coutinho, Ramsey returned the favour, passed the ball in. It was a nice little tap in from about 6 yards out. It finishes Aston Villa 2, Manchester United 2 in an absolute classic here at Villa Park. We'll go back to Russ for the fallout at the end of the game. But what a dramatic finish it has been at Villa Park tonight.
Thank you very much there to Liam Busby and to Paul James for excellent coverage as always. And Liam and Paul will be welcome back on the channel whenever they are both available. Brilliant coverage, as I mentioned, as Manchester United bottled a 2-0 lead, as some Manchester United fans are saying. There's been around about 27 minutes of the second Group D African Cup of Nations game between Guinea-Bissau and Egypt, which is currently goalless. And if I just have a look at the Egyptian side, and I'll just tell you that in the Egyptian side they are playing Mohamed El Nene of Arsenal, Mohamed Salah of Liverpool, and Agazi, who used to be at West Bromwich Albion, is also in the starting lineup today for the Egyptian side of the African Cup of Nations. So three of former players who have played in the Premier League. Well, two currently still do. One no longer does is in the starting lineup for Egypt, and they're taking on Guinea-Bissau in Cameroon in the African Cup of Nations today. And Guinea-Bissau's Batiro Silva has been booked early on, 28 minutes gone in that match. Come on, about 30 minutes gone in that match. It's still Guinea-Bissau 0, Egypt 0. We'll keep you across that one until we end the programme this evening. Elsewhere, then, earlier today we mentioned about in the Premier League, and we mentioned earlier on in the programme that Everton lost to Norwich City. Well, I have just received some breaking news which will get the thoughts of Liam and of Paul in a second on this breaking news, and anyone else who has been listening as well as before we get to JB's comments. So JB, put your thoughts in on this one if you can, if you're still tuned in, my friend. Rafael Benitez's position as Everton manager is being discussed as a club's board meeting this evening following a 2-1 defeat to Norwich City. So before we discuss the full-time in the action that we've just seen, let's go to Paul James first on this one. And Paul, we discussed you said you were a bit surprised with Everton losing earlier to Norwich City, and Norwich prior to today had only scored 8 goals in the last 20 appearances in the Premier League. But Paul, if you're looking at that performance from Everton, first time Norwich have scored 2 goals. They only scored in the Premier League, I think it's this season, and first time they've took the lead in the game this season in the Premier League. 8 wins out of the previous 20 before today's win over Everton. Rafael Benitez's position as Everton manager being discussed as at the club's board meeting this evening. So, Paul, the question for you is, do you think, and to the listeners, do you think Rafa Benitez will be sacked this evening, or do you think Everton board will decide to give him a bit more time? Please get your comments in. You can tweet us as well, a commentary live one if you want to do so. We'll try and read some of those out before we finish today. But Paul, what's your take on that?
Well, I think they've been very poor of Everton for a long time now. I think given the way that managers are treated in the Premier League, I'm surprised he hasn't gone already. But I think I've always said you need to give a manager at least 1 year. At least 1 year to fix the issues. But it seems to me that Everton have gone backwards under his leadership, and they've lost Luca Digne, which is Villa's gain for sure, and Everton's loss. So I don't see him being in a job on Monday morning.
Yes, and while we wait for some comments coming through, if JB, if you're still listening, you can get your thoughts in on that. We'll just bring in our match commentator this evening, Liam Busby. And Liam, your thoughts on the Rafa Benitez saga's future being discussed to board meeting this evening from sources that we have just reached here in the TCOB HQ where I am based this evening. They lost 2-1 to Norwich earlier. The results haven't been great for a while for Everton under Rafael Benitez. Do you think he'll be gone now, or do you reckon we'll see how he does in the next couple of games and then decide to get rid of him? What's your opinion on this, Liam?
I think he'll get given a bit of an ultimatum, maybe a certain amount of points in a certain amount of games. If we don't hit them, then you are going to get sacked. I think for the time being, he's fine. Of course, it's an unfortunate defeat against Norwich, but it's just one of them, isn't it? You're going to have to just see what happens in the next couple of games, but it is definitely embarrassing tonight from Everton.
Absolutely, indeed. We'll go back to the thoughts of the game that you've both just watched in a second. I've just seen some stats regarding Rafael Benitez's time at Everton so far. This is as matches have played as of today, the 15th of January. So if anyone listens back to this, it's as of Saturday, 15th of January 2022. He's been in charge at Everton since June 2021. And he has took charge of 22 Everton matches, 7 wins, should I say, sorry. So 22 games in charge, 7 wins, 5 draws, 10 defeats for Rafa Benitez, a win percentage of 31.8%. The lowest win percentage which he has had in his career was back at Osasuna back in 1996. Before And then if you and these ones here, 31.6 was a Dalian professional in China, where he was before he came Everton Boston. Is 31.8 at Everton. His highest win percentage wherever he's been in his managerial career would come at Real Madrid, incidentally, back in 2015 to 20 from June 2015 to January 2016, when he took charge of 25 matches, which is 3 short of what he's took charge of at Everton so far. 17 wins at Real Madrid, 5 draws and 3 defeats there as well. So that's the Rafa Benitez. And if you want to get your thoughts in on Rafa Benitez, please do. You can tweet us, as I mentioned already, a commentary live at 1 to get your thoughts in just there. But let's touch on the game this evening, Paul, and then we'll round out in a minute or so. Looking at the game then as a whole, Paul, you thought Manchester United would win 2-0. It looked as though that was going to be the case after Bruno Fernandez did put Manchester United 2-0 up in the second half. But back came Aston Villa, and it was all down to a little magician, as some Villa fans have been calling him, and what Liverpool fans used to call him as well, in Philippe Coutinho. And just to go for him today, Jacob Ramsey with a goal and an assist this evening as well for Aston Villa. Just touch upon, you mentioned there was either going to be Coutinho or Bruno Fernandez for your choice of man of the match. Obviously, you went with Coutinho in the end, or player of the match, which is sponsored by commentary services. But why? What made Coutinho stand out more than Bruno Fernandez, in your opinion, tonight, Paul?
Well, there was actually 1 or 2 Manchester United players I could have picked, despite the goal, despite the goals that Bruno scored. My understanding and definition of man of the match should be the man that makes the most difference in the game in one way or another, whether that be defensively or whether it might be by creating chances, scoring goals. He lifted Villa when he came on. He completely turned the match when he came on, which by definition for me was the reason why I gave him man of the match. He was absolutely superb when he came on. His touch on the ball was excellent. He got an assist on Ramsey's goal before getting one of his own, of course. And the opportunity would have been there for Villa, I think, to go on and win it. I think that the momentum that they had was stifled a little bit by Buendia's injury. But I think Coutinho was excellent when he came on, and I think he turned the game, so to speak. I know chances were being created down both flanks. Matty Cash and Luca Digne both were creating opportunities. But I think when he came on, he lifted Villa to the next level.
Yes, and I've just seen that Jacob Ramsey goal again, Paul, and it was a good bit of run through from Philippe Coutinho, but Coutinho didn't get the final touch before he went to Ramsey. It was a tackle by Fred which fell into the path of Ramsey, so Coutinho didn't get registered with the assist for Ramsey's goal this evening. Just touch upon them from Manchester United's point of view. They were 2-0 up in the game. How disappointed will Ralph Rangnick and Manchester United players, knowing that they were 2-0 up in the game, and now at the end of the match they've drawn 2 apiece with Aston Villa? How disappointed do you think Ralph Rangnick and the Manchester United team would be after that result tonight, Paul?
Well, they'll see it as 2 points dropped to us. They'll see it as 2 points dropped. They'll look at it as being they were in control of the game. Especially going into half time, they were 1-0 up. Once they got the second goal, they must have thought that they could go on and win the game. So they'll be very disappointed at that. Villa, on the other hand, of course, will be delighted. I suspect that they will be quite happy with that draw against Manchester United. It's never an easy game.
Absolutely, indeed, Paul. Absolutely, indeed. Let's just remind people what today's results in the Premier League does for the Premier League table. And if there's any Burnley fans still tuned in, and I'm sorry you're going to have to stay and listen to this, Paul, but with you being a Burnley fan here, but For the others, if you're any Burnley fans joining, please turn away and switches off right now, or just turn it down just a touch until we've gone through the table. So, but you can listen to the first part. So starting at the top of the table, Manchester City have gone 13 points clear at the top of the Premier League table after their win over Chelsea this lunchtime. Liverpool play tomorrow against Brentford, where they look to close the gap on Manchester City and go above Chelsea, who lost against Manchester City. West Ham going to sit in fourth and look to consolidate their fourth place when they take on Leeds United tomorrow at the London Stadium. That will put them 5 points above Arsenal, who sit in fifth. Tottenham in sixth. Their game tomorrow between Tottenham and Arsenal, the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, was postponed after Arsenal had COVID cases. In seventh is Manchester United after their result, and they've closed the gap onto Tottenham just 1 point. Wolves closed the gap to Manchester United to just 1 point as well after Wolves' win earlier today. Brighton sit in ninth after their draw last night against Crystal Palace. Leicester sit in 10th. Their game against Burnley was postponed due to COVID and injuries in the Burnley camp. Into the bottom half now, and this is where Burnley fans can still continue listening. I'll tell you when to turn it down, Burnley fans. And but Paul, I'm afraid you'll still stay with us. It's Crystal Palace who are sitting 11th on 24 points following their draw last night. Southampton, after their defeat, remain in 12th on 24 points. Villa have closed the gap with their draw tonight against Manchester United. They sit in 13th. Brentford, should I say, sitting 14th. They take on Liverpool, knowing a win can take them into the top half of the table tomorrow. So that's what Brentford's initiative will get them. Everton, after their defeat today, which left Rafa Benitez's future being undecided, the board meeting being called this evening to discuss the future of Rafael Benitez at Everton. Leeds United with a win over West Ham tomorrow. High flying West Ham will see them move above Everton, and Everton will drop down to 16th. Leeds will move up to 15th, a point behind Brentford, should Brentford lose tomorrow, on a point behind Aston Villa, who got a point against Manchester United this evening. Watford are in 17th place, Leeds 5 points above them, and Watford are a point above the drop zone after Norwich's win against Aston Villa. Not against Aston Villa, should I say, against Everton, which has put Rafa Benitez's future into question. Newcastle are in 19th place on 12 points, and this is where Burnley fans should turn down. But not you, Paul. You get to hear it again, as I mentioned, we discussed off before we started this evening. Burnley sit in 20th position, bottom of the Premier League, 11 points from 17 games. They have got 3 games in hand over Newcastle, 4 games in hand over Norwich, 2 over Watford, 2 over Leeds until Leeds play tomorrow, 2 over Everton as well. So Burnley's currently at bottom of the table, and only just a couple of days ago sold Chris Wood to Newcastle United, and that has possibly weakened Burnley and strengthened Newcastle in the strength for survival. So that's all we've got time for here on the commentary. Just before we do let you go, let's just give one last look at how the game is getting on between Guinea-Bissau and Egypt in the African Cup of Nations. Just to tell you about, it's still 0-0 between Guinea-Bissau and Egypt this evening. That is played around about 42 minutes, and with a scoreline, Egypt are up to third on 1 point, Guinea-Bissau are second on 2 points after their opening draw of the campaign. Sudan are bottom after their 1 point from 2 games. They got a point against Guinea-Bissau, and Nigeria are top, 2 wins from 2 for the Nigerians to beat Egypt on Tuesday and then beat Sudan by 3-1 earlier on today. So that's how that game is going. If you want to find out on your usual sources, or if you can find where to watch that game, you can find out how that game goes on. If you can find a channel in your country that has got the African Cup of Nations on. That's all we've got time for here on the Commentary Hub this evening. Big thank you to the commentary team of Paul, Liam Busby and Paul James. Very big thank you to you and a big well done to you both. Welcome back whenever you are free, as always. So from all of the team here, from myself, Russ, Liam, Paul, and from everyone behind the scenes, Mike, Barry, JB and Trevor Sports and CW, Chris Wyman as well, and all the other brilliant commentators that we've got on the channel, some yet to make their debuts. We thank you all for that very much for listening. From all of the team here, thank you very much for listening. We'll see you again soon for more live, alternative, off-tube commentary from the Premier League and beyond. From all the team here. Good night.